try and decipher the stream title, it's the series of events leading up to this point with a minor embellishment at the end.
Oh, okay. I've not seen it yet. Just give me a sec.
I did a boomer.
Then a bit more.
I did a big boomer. Our stream title looks like a fucking Facebook post from a middle-aged school teacher. Oh, kill switch, please, so I can blow my nose.
Fluesday. And all I can see is flues. So
Hey,
sleep,
babes.
high temperature, blow a nose,
Yep.
hot cold.
Yep.
Pray, sneeze some more.
Yeah. And then that's me going, oh, fuck you then! And then I end
The
up at
hospital
the
and
hospital.
inevitable death.
Yeah, that's the Lord striking me down from a blasphemy by going, like, please God, please end my suffering. And he's like, nah, bruh. He's like, immediately take back all the prayers. Fuck you. You ever do that? Like, you're not religious, but you get so sick eventually, you're just like, alright, if there is one, please just do me a favour. Like, please, I'll believe in you if you do. Ah, fucking knew it. I knew it.
Every now and again, let I do an Arnold Schwarzenegger. Grant me this one thing. If you not grant me that, then to hell with you.
Exactly, right? Fucking, like, honestly, man, if this cold cleared up right now, it'd make me, I probably still wouldn't believe. I'd probably just be like, sucker! I bet them kids in Africa though, huh? You got time for me? Fucking asshole! Oh, I'm sick again. Oh no. How'd that happen?
Now it's a plague.
Yeah. Oh, it turns out he's pretty petty. Oh, shit.
Oh, he's super petty. Have you ever read the Bible?
Bits and pieces, but it's hard to read. It kind of reminds me of another book that I tried to read once upon a time ago, and it's it's full of the same nonsense bullshit and like bad writing and stuff. So I don't know. But anyway, right, how's the TV holding up? Excellent question, Ronan. So I'm going to take you through a story here.
Okay.
Oh god, Daddy's not happy. Daddy's not well. Right, so fuck, what day was it? Thursday. I thought Thursday was Friday all day, and I thought Friday was Sunday, and I just lost Saturday entirely. So Thursday night we go to a gig. It's very good. We come back, and we're playing Scott's PlayStation. He brought his PS5 over. We're playing Resi.
Nice.
It's all very good. My TV's got a couple of wee lines across it that you've seen before. I think you might actually be the one that pointed them out to me in the first place.
Yeah, like the kind of lines of stuck pixels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was happening, but it was fine. It was the exact same that it's been every other time. And then the boys crashed out. I turned everything off and I went through to my bed. And I came through in the morning, turned the TV on, and those two lines had multiplied like fucking gremlins, and it became like a full 3/4 crosshatch screen.
Yeah, I remember you sent me a picture, and it was like doing like sort of disco flicker.
Believe it or not, that was way better than the thing it was doing the first day. The first day was genuinely like, oh fuck, this is broke. So it was kind of scary. So I phoned up my insurance because I took insurance out on the TV when I got it because it was very cheap. And I understand now why it was very cheap. So I phoned them and I'm like, yo, I don't have my policy number, but I've got the receipt email so I can tell you exactly time, date, brand, make, model, card used, everything. They're like, yeah, well, we should probably find it with that. Got it, no bother. Got it sorted. They're asking me hundreds of questions. How big is it? 50 inch. Right, okay. And what size is it again? It's 50, 50, 50, and two wee lines at the top of the zero. 50 inch. And they're like, right, okay, we're going to put 47 to 51. I'm like, no, it's 50. It's exactly 50. It's on the dot 50. And she's like, 47 to 51. Right, okay. So,
They must have size ranges.
I guess so. So then, this this person was like, right, cool, we'll get an engineer out, they'll take a look at it, they'll try and fix it, if not, they'll replace it. I'm like, cool. That'll happen on Tuesday today. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, as long as it doesn't take too long. And I got a phone call. They're like, hey, we want to come out on Monday instead. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like, alright, cool. What size is your TV? I'm like, motherfucker! It's 50 inches! Fuck! uh, and then, oh, fuck, what happened after that? Well, my brain is soup. They fucking came out on a Monday. They were sending me texts all across the weekend. I think I got 5 or 6 in total that just said somebody is coming out on Monday, but it didn't say when. Oh shit. Fucking boss fight. I'm not
Yeah,
realised.
we're straight into a boss battle.
Fucking tremendous. Absolutely Mark Tremonti. You know what I mean?
Well, as with many of bosses in these kind of games, the strat largely is to sort of rotate round.
You can't just chainsaw him. That's lame.
No.
But anyway, so guy shows
Ooh.
up on Monday, and he's got like a Wayne with him. I don't know if it was his Wayne or if it was a work temp or something, but there's a wee guy there anyway, and he's just like, alright mate, I'm like, alright. They're like, oh, I had the TV on so they could see it, and as soon as they walked in he was just like, oh aye, that's a workshop job that, right? Aye, right, we'll need to take the base off it and get that out of here, right? They're just like, right, okay, don't care. Just get it fuck. Fix it. The guy was just like, alright, well what will happen is we'll take it away today, and then we'll look at it tomorrow. And then your insurance company will look at it the day after. And then they'll decide whether it's worth repairing or just replacing. And I was like, it was a £300 TV, mate, it's just replace it. Just replace it, it'll be cheaper. Like, that was 3 fucking years ago, it was that price. I'm sure it's even cheaper now. And he's just like, oh no, they're going to take a look at it, see if we can repair it for less. So that'll take a day or two, and then what we'll do is they'll let you know what's happening, and it could take up to a week or two. I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is why you guys are cheap. Alright, whatever, I got a spare TV, it's 21 inch. It's less than half, but it's okay, it'll do the job. And that's when it hit me. In the heat of my delirium, I realised something. Shared it with B-Bob, because he's got the same kind of fucking broken head as me.
Mm-hmm.
You're too sensible for this, you're just telling me I'm an idiot. Oh, Vicks Vapor Rub. I wish I could smell you. What? TVs are like penises.
Ah, yes. You didn't elaborate when you said this the other day.
let me blow my nose. Do you have any theories? I'll blow my nose.
So I think it's probably I would imagine something to do with no one really caring about the size except you.
Kinda. I think that's a bit deeper than what I was going for. I just went from a 50 inch to a 21 inch, so I went from having a big one to a wee one. Right? That's something that happens to people in life regularly if you're not ashore.
If it's really cold, aye.
Well, if you're not ashore.
Mm.
And what I've realised is that having a wee one, you can decide if I'm talking about bobies or TVs here. See when it's wee, like see when it's all wee and that. It's great, like it's super useful. It does loads of things. It's perfectly functional. I'm very happy and I'm very grateful that I've got it, but I kinda don't want to play with it until it's bigger.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I've been sitting playing my PlayStation, like fucking up against the screen with my eyeballs on the TV trying to see this thing. I miss having a big screen where I can just look all over one wall and see something. But no, I'm dealing with this.
Aye. Well, I've actually done kind of fairly similar kind of situation with my car windscreen at the moment. It's got a crack in it.
Ooh, that could turn into a fucking dangerous situation, my man.
Well, thankfully, my insurer, you can pay a smaller excess to get your windscreen repaired or replaced. But it is they are taking their sweet arse time getting it sorted.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
They're taking a sweet arse time getting it sorted because it's like I booked it on the 2nd and it was supposed to be on the 16th. I was getting it repaired, and then they messaged me on the 15th saying, "Oh, by the way, our guy that was that's the technician for your job, yeah, he's called in sick, so we now need to postpone it to the 24th."
Fuck that guy.
And I'm like, come on, guys! Surely there's more than one windscreen technician.
No, we've only got one windy guy.
Like how do you do business if this guy's not well or if this guy's like on holiday?
Clearly they don't. Oh man, I just pulled his fucking whatever it is out his arc reactor.
Yeah.
What was that thing? Is that a bomb or a teleport? A teleport. Okay, that's fine.
So it's an Argent Energy Core, which kind of more or less is the same thing. It can get you to hell.
Is this your phase 2 or are you just a second oh shit. Oh fuck, it's turned into a platforming game! Are you alright? Hello, sir.
Yeah, when he's got you in the corridor like that, it's like jump, duck, jump, duck.
Oh god. It might have been COVID or some shit like that. They need to disinfect it before somebody else can get it. Fuck that! Just wear a mask, then you can sneeze or get caught by the mask. Oh, right. I'm cold again.
And just to say, thank you, Beeb, and thank you, Ronan, and thank you anyone else who's joining us and not playing Tears of the Kingdom right now.
No, people can watch and play Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, probably.
Right, you last, what was that? 12 minutes
handheld,
and 40 seconds you managed to go without mentioning it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It wasn't very long, was it?
Oh, that was pretty good for you. Come on, you're like a kid with these Zelda games.
Well, it is the biggest thing that's happened this week.
It's just the biggest thing that's happened ever.
Well, I mean, it's one of the biggest releases of the year.
I imagine Jesus coming down to fucking Nintendo HQ and just being like, "Aye, alright, you're bigger than me now, here's the crown." Then Mario's just like, "Oh, mamma mia, it hurts. The price of success." No? Is that alright?
When's a man next game?
Come on, my movie was great. People want to play the tie-in. They want to hear me go a woo, waha, wahoo.
Can you imagine a Mario movie tie-in game where it's like the movie actors?
No, because then it's a fucking game based on a movie based on a game. That's too meta for me.
Yeah, Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
It was a game based on a movie based on a...
Yeah, that exists, by the way, if you didn't know about it.
I know.
Actually,
so I have a fun fact about that for you. You might not know.
Oh really?
Yes, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you know the Mortal Kombat theme song?
Yes.
You know that one?
Yes, the Test Your Might.
Yeah, that has literally never appeared in the game, except maybe that one.
Yeah.
It's never featured in any MK game. Which I think is wild because it is like, that's the theme song.
I know, it's like, people say like, oh yeah, what's the Mortal Kombat theme? Oh, it's that.
It would be kind of like, it would be kind of like if the like do 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 for Mario was from
Yeah.
the original movie. Like that was its intro
Mhm.
and nothing else, and people were like, "Oh yeah, that's the Mario theme, baby." It'd kind of be like that.
Mm.
But instead, like I don't know what was that old Mario movie intro. It was probably like Cyndi Lauper or some hair metal or some shit, right?
No, so I've not seen the movie yet. I do hear it's very, very good. I will get to it at some point.
See, very very good's a bit high praise. I've heard that it's acceptably like it's maybe above mid. Oh god, that's Nintendo sniped me from afar with a lurgy for saying bad things about their babies.
It would have to go some way to be better than the D&D movie, but I suppose it is a very different kind of movie.
Yeah, well, I don't think that live action and animated movies should ever be compared directly to each other. There's a lot more you can do with animation in terms of nuance and setting and environment and stuff like that. Whereas when it's people, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that's a person.
Yeah, only comparison you can really draw is that they're both like gaming properties.
Like I'm trying to put more of a finer point on this point. See if there's like a character in a movie, right, and they're making the saddest face they can possibly make. Like we want you to look absolutely miserable, right? If that's on an actual person and they make the saddest face they can possibly make, there's a good chance I'll laugh because that's funny. Like people look silly when they have that big pout.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like an animated thing, like a fucking dog or a rabbit, I'm probably crying along with it.
Yeah, it hurts more.
Yeah, or like if a person gets hurt in a movie, I'll be like, that was your own fucking fault, you idiot, you shouldn't have been there. But if like I'm watching Watership Down, I'm like, ah, no, no.
Mind you've got BFGs as well. I think they also stagger him.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it not like a bitch.
Hey, you're playing on ultra violence. Take every advantage you can get.
So I am. Speaking of taking advantages, do you want to do your Zelda bit first? Because I've got I've got a bit as well, but oh, Daddy needs more brew to get through the night. And Vix, come here, Vic. Let me put my nose in you.
No worries. It's gonna let you focus this big asshole as well.
Right now, my schnoz is in a tub of vapor rub. I'll be a minute. I'm having a moment.
So Tears of the Kingdom came out. We got it as
like
as a
koala's
result
breath.
of a very happy accident from our good friend Bebop.
Smells like a kangaroo's dreams.
Kangaroo's dreams.
Eucalyptus, bruh.
All right, okay. You mean koala?
I said that first. You didn't hear me.
All right.
Said it smelled like a koala's breath. And then kangaroo dreams.
Yeah, the game is out. The game is very good. It's sort of there are like I'm gonna get like some criticism out of the way first because what I'm probably going to spend a lot of time doing is just gushing about it. But in terms of criticisms, some of the janky stuff from Breath of the Wild is still there. I mean, like, I know people don't, didn't much care for the weapon degradation in the game. That is still there. It can be like mitigated by one of the game mechanics, which I'll get into. But it's still it's still there. Another thing that that people might not be so hot on is that, like, see the combat. The combat in the game is just lifted from the first game. In fact, a lot of the mechanics in it are lifted from the first game. There's not really much that's changed in terms of the core, the core control of Link. You can crucify Koroks.
I feel like
it's 10 out of 10.
I feel like once that's discovered, there's going to be a Christians Against Zelda group forming on Facebook.
uh, I would happily do that to those little bastards.
Zelda
But
teaches children that the crucifixion was not something used by the overlords to hurt our Lord Jesus Christ. It's done for amusement and enjoyment, and also racism.
um, and yeah, so the core experience of Control and Link has barely changed. There are new things added on, but the skeleton is still the same.
God, it's so difficult to think how, like, can you imagine every Zelda game coming out? They're like, okay, boomerang, hookshot, bow and arrow, bomb. Fuck, what did we give them last time? Fucking iron boots? Shit, right, okay. People will
Well,
whinge if they're not in it. Oh, the parachute, right? People will whinge if that's not in it. Oh my fucking god, how much shit are we putting in this game?
but yeah, like there's like there's good and bad points. I mean, like one of the things that I will say that like the first kind of really good point that I want to make is it feels more like Zelda than Breath of the Wild did, and that was kind of one of my big negative takeaways from Breath of the Wild was yeah
Uh,
it felt like an open world, kind of exploration game, and there were recognisably Zelda things in it,
right, I have
but
a question for you
it
off the
doesn't.
back of
It
that.
didn't feel like Zelda much.
I have a question for you off the back of that.
Mm.
What does Zelda feel like to you? Because I think that would be very different depending on who you talk to. Because for me, when I think of what is Zelda, what is the gameplay of Zelda, I instantly go to Ocarina and Twilight Princess. But
Right.
there are
Okay.
plenty of games that do not play like that. For example, Wind Waker, like Link Between Worlds, any of the handheld ones, any of the SNES and NES ones don't play like that.
Hmm.
So some people, the older generation, the Kinos in the chat, might, the OGs, they might be the guys that are going like a Zelda experience is a 2D isometric dungeon crawler kind of vibe where you're going through the world and you shoot the sword, blah blah blah. But like I said, to me, Zelda is Ocarina. It's like Twilight Princess. And
Yeah.
somebody else might say Zelda is fucking Minish Cap.
Well, I think like for me, a Zelda game is it is an RPG style adventure game where you play as Link. You do a bunch of dungeons. You collect some story treasures. Each dungeon has like a new item which changes the way that you approach the rest of the dungeon. Usually like you know how like and I'll use Ocarina as an example because it's one of your sort of quintessential ones.
Yes.
You know when you get a new item in that game and
Reach!
you're exploring through the dungeon, you get a new item about half or 2/3 of the way through. Yes,
Bro, I just ripped his fucking horn off like he was Nosferatu Zod. Are you
nice.
proud of me, Daddy? I made a Berserk reference.
But like you know what I'm saying with when you're in a dungeon in Zelda and about halfway or 2/3 of the way through you get the new item that's in that dungeon, and then like how you approach the rest of the dungeon is completely changed.
Yes.
Like I think that's like quite core to Zelda. Like getting a new item and using it to finish the rest of the dungeon.
Did you not feel like
Um,
Breath of the Wild had that, just in between all its giant open nothingness?
well, no, because Breath of the Wild's the items that you get, and Tears of the Kingdom to an extent, but like the items that you get in Breath of the Wild are disposable, degrading weapons. So like you can still get a boomerang, but it's an item that you just pick up, and eventually it breaks, and you have to go and find something else.
Well, here's a question. Just because obviously I've not played either of these, so I'm trying to put
Mhm.
it into the perspective of somebody that's trying to be sold Zelda. Like
Mhm.
you're trying to make me want to play it. So the question I want to know is, um, shit, it's dropped right out of my head. What were you just saying?
So talking about weapon degradation.
Right. So in the original Zelda games, you would get the
Mm-hmm.
wooden sword, and
Yeah.
it was dog shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the jet engine, fuck! Right, I had to swap to my old headset because I've got the flu and I'm coughing and blowing my nose, and my new headset's much better, but it doesn't have a kill switch, so you would hear me coughing, and this one has a kill switch, so I'm doing you a fucking mercy, alright?
Yeah, so I mean, fair enough. We might hear a little bit of PS4 fan noise, but you don't hear Dargo sneezing and snottering near you.
I'm literally on the other side of the room. You
Have to
want to
pay
hear
extra for that.
you want to hear what it sounds like up close? You ready for this, baby? Now boarded. Everybody on to Dargo's plane. I'm sitting right next to it now. What do you think of that, boys? Will that keep you awake in a dark night?
I know.
You want to hear another noise in your house and go, what the fuck was that? I don't know, I couldn't hear it clearly. Just get the fuck away from that.
But yeah, so like you get you were saying that you in Zelda you get the wooden sword, and then you get the Master Sword, and then there's maybe like one or two other swords.
Yeah. So like, my point is that when you start off with like a shitty sword, and then once you get something slightly better, it just sits in your inventory. You never use it again. And then you move on to the next better sword, and then eventually you just get the Master Sword, and that's you on that forever because you can shoot the sword. Right. So like, doesn't having degradable weapons give you more variety in gameplay, less inventory clutter, and also like it's the exact same look because once you get the Master Sword, I assume you just don't take it off.
Right. So I don't know how it works in Tears of the Kingdom, but the Master Sword has a sort of gimmick. Oh, here we go. Slayer. It's more Slayer's stuff, is it? Yeah, Slayer's Testament 4.
What fucking skull was that? Jesus. Goddamn, is that a hand?
So that's a demonic titan, I believe.
Oof. Am I fighting that shit? Don't tease me. Some more of that shit? Oh, ribs. Holy shit, I'm in the rotten veil. Oh my god, is the final boss for... oh shit. Melty Dragon. The sick dragon.
I'm sure the final boss is not a sick dragon, no.
Oh, what's the sick dragon's name?
Valhazak.
Oh, I kept thinking Velcana. But I knew that
yeah,
was
it's frosty
right.
one. Aye, Valhazak, the vape dragon.
Yahoo! Oh no, I landed in jam.
But yeah, the way that the weapons technically work is, so you can pick up anything from sticks to great swords,
right?
And they all have durability. They don't tell you how much durability it's got.
Damn it.
It gives you a warning where you're like 3 to 5 hits away from it breaking.
Oh, right, okay. It's like it's like when you've got a pack of skins and it's got that one to tell you to go to the shop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it gives you a warning saying it's durability is running low, and then it breaks, and then you need to switch to something else. In terms of variety.
I just realised that one slip of paper in the fucking rolling papers is your durability marker. That's amazing.
In terms of weapon variety, you get two-handed weapons, one-handed weapons that you can use with your shield, and bows. There are kind of some like other like sort of subcategories, I suppose, within that. So like you do get like magic rods, which are one-handed weapons. You do get axes as well as great swords, which are two-handed. But all together, it's just those three categories. In terms of like puzzle solving items, there's no. You don't get like a permanent boomerang or a permanent hook shot or anything like that. What the game does is, in the tutorial area, it gives you all the sort of special powers that you need to do any dungeon in the game.
Oh my god, I just got hit with a really bad wave of sickness. Alright, keep going. Talk me through it.
In Breath of the Wild, it's you start on a plateau. It has 4 shrines or like mini puzzle dungeons on it, and each one gives you a special power. So like one is magnesis, you get to move metal objects. One is stasis, stops things in place, and you can hit it a couple of times and it'll launch the item as the momentum's built up. There's also Cryonis, which freezes patches of water into pillars. And
that sounds good.
And there's bombs, and the bombs come in 2 varieties, round or square.
Bomb. Rolling bomb or stationary bomb.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can make one that you can roll, or you can make one that you that will just stay in place. Explaining this is probably going to be helpful, because then in the new, when we get to the talking about the new game, I can tell you what's changed.
Whose fucking brain is that?
Yum,
is
yum.
that heart?
Yeah.
Whose is it?
I don't know. Someone unfortunate who was sacrificed, I imagine. Still going.
Whoa, that thing's mental. Jesus. That's like a horse heart or some shit. It's insane. Just a quick segue. I muted there after I said that I felt like I could whitey. I did not whitey. What I was doing was, do you guys have a thing that you do when you are sick to just make you feel a bit better?
I mean, like at times we'll get kind of nice food in. We'll put on something that makes us laugh, or something chill, or like sometimes gaming helps, but sometimes like when you are really sick, it's kind of hard to focus.
Yeah. So I found that, oh my god, stomach, what are you doing? I think it's going ape shit. I kind of find that too. And, oh, it's because I've not eaten in like 2 days, because I've not been hungry in 2 days, because I've been sick. Right, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Right, now that mystery's explained. Yeah, I like to make myself feel momentarily better by just going like, ah, but really loudly. So my neighbours occasionally hear me just walking around the flat going, ah, for fuck's sake, ah. So if I ever mute the mic, I'm probably screaming to myself. And that's perfectly normal and healthy. So Zelda durabilities, that sounds really, it doesn't change up the gameplay loop that much, I guess. Then not as much as I thought it might.
No, not as such. As I say, what really changes it is the fact that you're given like all of your puzzle solving powers right at the beginning. Yeah,
that's interesting. I guess that shows confidence in the level design, I think.
Yeah, and like the game is very reliant on in-game physics. So like, everything has a weight. Everything has a way. Has a way that it sits.
I've seen that one terminal montage video.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, like, see, that terminal montage video is really funny, but everything in that video you can do.
Yeah, that guy's fucking crazy accurate. Like his
there was a switch back there. Did you see it?
Was there? No, I did not. His his Metroid video. The map is 100% game accurate.
Yeah,
which is insane.
So like one thing that he does to devastating effect, and a lot of speedrunners for Breath of the Wild do this, is that the stasis power that I mentioned. Yes. That freezes things. Well, as I say, if you freeze something, you can hit it a bunch of times and build up momentum in it. So when it unfreezes, it launches. And that is how he does the thing, and how he does the thing with the tree. The terminal montage, he chops down a tree, freezes it, hits it a bunch of times, jumps on it, and flies away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do that.
Oh, dude, it is.
And it's with tomfoolery like that people have beaten Breath of the Wild in like 24 minutes.
I see that. Oh my god, hi. I see that somebody has already got the game down to like under half an hour.
Yeah, even the new game, people have already done speedruns of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The new one's already down to under half an hour.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It's really wild to me.
But yeah, that's the speedrunning community for you.
But holy shit, man! They are making some mad sales on that. As far as I'm aware, it's the 4th best-selling Zelda game so far, and that's only on its like week 1 number. So fuck knows, it might climb.
Yeah, it's outsold Hogwarts at launch, I think.
Yeah, but I think it doubled Hogwarts.
Yeah, and Hogwarts. Emma's clarified for me. It beat Hogwarts Legacy's launch numbers by 50%. And I think up until that point, I think Hogwarts, it took kind of Elden Ring off the top spot.
Yeah.
And now it's been taken off the top spot by Zelda.
I think that, well, first off, it's really fucking cool that games are still coming out and people are getting more and more into it. That's awesome. But I think that if you look at the like install fan base for each of those franchises, it's like Elden was a reputation seller. You know, like that was just because it's like the accessible Dark. You guys wanted a Dark Souls easy mode. Well, this one you can fuck around a lot more, which is close to the easy mode as we're giving you. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh my god, who's this, Mikola? You said it was easy! Then they're like, tee-hee, I heard you like redheads. But, naughty Miyazaki. Yeah, so then you got Hogwarts, and that's got the install fan base of all Potterheads.
Yep.
Which is a lot of, but the thing about Potter fans is that they are a wild range of people that mix from like the young to the old, different backgrounds, hardcore fucking religious people are into it, as we've discovered. You know, like everybody's into Harry Potter, but that doesn't mean that every one of those Harry Potter fans is a gamer.
Yes.
Where Zelda has the advantage is that is a game. That has always been a game, and everybody that's into it is a gamer that owns a Switch. So, like, your install base for that is already going to be staggering because you've got basically everybody that's ever bought a Switch interested in getting this, whereas everybody that ever watched Harry Potter is not interested in getting Hogwarts Legacy, or maybe they are, but they just can't. They don't game.
Well, I don't know if it's frightened them off because there was an announcement just there that Hogwarts Legacy's Switch port has now been delayed further to November.
I imagine that they are using this as a convenient shield to push it back for the legitimate reason of you cannot get something like that to play on a Switch. What the fuck are you doing? I can't get XCOM to play on the Switch.
Like looking at that game like on like PS4, PS5, I have no idea how that would run on a Switch.
It wouldn't.
I think what's going to happen with a Hogwarts Legacy Switch port is we're going to hear it get delayed. Well, we've already had it delayed twice now. I think it's going to maybe get one more announcement, potentially maybe delayed one more time, and then it will just get cancelled.
Yeah, I can see it. But like, who wants a Switch port of it anyway? Like, really?
Yeah,
who's that into the Harry Potter that they want to play it on the go?
Yeah. I suppose the portable factor is like where probably the only reason you would choose Switch over other home consoles.
Yeah, like what are you going to do with a Switch version of Hogwarts? Are you going to be like, I'm getting the train so I can do some gardening in my room of requirements while I'm on the train? Because you can't do a mission, you can't do a full story set, you can't even explore in that. But XCOM, I can throw that shit on, have a couple of turns, turn it off, come back, have another couple of turns.
Yeah. It always kind of surprised me that they were going to put it on the Switch at all, because I mean, as I say, like it doesn't look as if it's the sort of game that would work on a Switch, and like when it comes to making games over multiple platforms, you have to appeal to you have to kind of appeal to the lowest common denominator in the development stages.
Yeah.
So that and by a lowest common denominator, what I specifically mean by that is the lowest powered console. Because if you don't account for the lowest common denominator in your core dev cycle, it means that it essentially means that you have to port down to other consoles.
Yep.
Which is a lot harder than porting up.
Sure is. Making something shitter is shockingly more difficult than it sounds.
Yeah. If you have something that is designed with the lowest common denominator in mind, or for example, if it was designed for the Switch, then you bring it to another console. That other console's gonna run rings around it. It'll play absolutely fine on that if the other console is more powerful.
Do you know what? I'm gonna offer that it is not necessarily even to do with power, because there have been so many different things that have came out recently on a superior format that have been dog shit. I'm looking at you, PC master racists.
Yeah, that I've been kind of feeling sorry for the PC crowd of late. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I have been feeling sorry for them, because it seems that they're getting, shit PC port after shit PC port, and these games should be at, in terms of looks on a PC, like any of these games should be the best looking they've ever looked. Because there's so much that you can do to to customize a PC to take your graphics and performance to the next level, and yet everything is so poorly optimized, and it's baked into the game. You can't fix that. You can't fix something like Redfall.
See, I've just realised that PCs are like Stifler from American Pie. Right? Because there's always somebody that's like the PC master race guy. They're always going to be fucking preaching on about how great they are, as he does about how fucking much he loves banging lassies and that. But see the moment, and everybody's like, oh, those assholes, I fucking can't stand them, but they're always hanging around with us, I don't know why. But then the moment they're sad, everybody's like, oh dude, what's wrong? How can I help? Oh no, we are actually friends though, what's wrong? No, I like it when you're an asshole. It's funny. Come on, Master Race. Tell me how good your graphics are. Come on.
I like taking the piss out. I don't want you to be sad.
Yeah. It's like if the Joker ever killed Batman, he'd be like, "Oh well, now what do I do?"
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. No, it's the argument isn't as fun when they go like, "Oh yeah, the PC is superior, and we can now just turn around and go, ports aren't." That's much less fun than going like, oh yeah, well when I get a console, I don't have to think about upgrading something for 10 years and everything runs okay, I guess.
But that's the thing as well, it seems to be every major release is having problems like this.
Well, like you said, it's developing on dev kits as opposed to PCs themselves these days.
Yeah. And you'd think that, you would... You think the companies behind some of these games, you'd think they would be better at this by now, but
I think they should do the Unreal all-in-one, and it's just a universal unlock dev kit for everything.
Yeah. But yeah, I do kind of feel for them, particularly because having a high-powered gaming PC is such a massive investment. It can be and normally is a lot more than just buying a console.
Significantly.
Yeah, I mean you can pay more than £1,000 just for one computer part.
The gap's closing though. Give you that.
Yeah, and now that we've had the cryptopocalypse as well. There's more graphics cards available for people who actually use them for what they're meant to be used for.
As are in order.
But But aye, so where had I gotten to?
We just finished discussing the weapons, and we were getting on to some more juicier details without
Right.
spoilers.
Cool. Yeah. So there will be just to yeah. So I will kind of before I continue. Before I continue, I will. Oh dear, you're getting smushed. There we go. Safe. I will preface this by saying there will be no Tears of the Kingdom spoilers, and if I can possibly help it in this stream, there may be spoilers for some Breath of the Wild stuff, but that's a nearly 8-year-old game.
If I say anything that could be a spoiler, it's probably not. I can't believe Ganon's Link's dad.
Wow, what a twist!
Oh my god, Link
that's what happens. That's what happens when you get M. Night Shyamalan on the writing team.
Exactly right. Oh my god, I can't believe Tears of the Kingdom starts with Link waking up and realising that Breath of the Wild was just a dream.
See if you get the green thing. That's an invisibility, which is quite an invincibility, which is quite handy for being down in the acid.
Actually, do you know what? I really should stop making guesses, because half the time I do that on other things, I get it right. So. Okay. So we've covered like breakable weapons. We've covered like sort of in-game powers, so to speak. And the other pieces of kit that you kind of get in terms of in Breath of the Wild is your paraglider, which allows you to float down for as long as you have stamina. And you have a stamina wheel and hearts as usual. Yes.
The doing shrines in the games are like they're little mini dungeons. After each one, you get an orb. If you have 4 orbs, you can swap them for a new heart container or an extra bit of stamina. Now, kind of some of the things that were quite different from regular Zelda and Breath of the Wild was there were only like 5, I would say 5 sort of big actual dungeons. All the rest of the dungeons in the game are all shrines, which are like single like sets of puzzles. But there are only 4 big dungeons, and Hyrule Castle is the last dungeon.
Oh, wait.
Now,
well, I guess that's kind of like Elden.
Yeah, I mean, like Hyrule Castle is a fantastic dungeon. It's a big, like, kind of legacy dungeon. It's about, I would say, about the sort of same size or bigger than like Stormvale Castle or Lanedale, the capital.
Yeah.
It's about round about the same size as that.
Good size.
But yeah, it was a bit. It did kind of make me think. Well, you know, it's that's one thing that's not really like Zelda games, because obviously with Zelda you have with Zelda traditionally, yeah, you have like your. There's usually about 8 dungeons in a Zelda game, if I'm remembering right, because Ocarina of Time had 8 mainline ones, because you had the 3 as a kid, and then 5 as an adult,
yeah,
and then the last one. So yeah, so 6. So 6 as an adult.
That's pretty. Like, those are good numbers especially for back in the day on a cart.
Yeah. So in Breath of the Wild, you get
Sneaky
your
bitch.
you get your 120 shrines, I think. Bebo will correct me if I'm wrong, because he's done them all.
Already? Oh.
In Breath of the Wild, I don't know how many there are in Tears of the Kingdom, but there are still shrines in it.
11 billion.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be more or less the same. I imagine 120 to 150, if that. But that was one of the things in Breath of the Wild that made people think, oh well, this isn't really. This is another thing that's not really Zelda. We don't really have much in the way of actual dungeons, and I would say a dungeon is kind of part of the core Zelda experience, is it not?
Yeah, it really is. That's the thing. That's something that I definitely think of when I think Zelda is fire, water, earth, temples.
Yeah.
Go see the Zora. Yeah. Go see the fucking the rock dudes, the Gerudo. Go to the little village and fish.
So you got so with Breath of the Wild, you had your core 4 races aside from humans. The Gorons are in it, the Zora are in it, the Gerudo are in it, and the Rito are in it. The Rito, I don't know if you did you played Wind Waker, right?
Oh, barely. I hated it.
Right. Okay. Have they been in other games? I think they might have. They're the bird people.
Oh yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah. So yeah, you got your core 4 races. In Tears of the Kingdom, they introduce another one. I won't say anything about it, but they do introduce a new Zelda race, which is quite cool.
What race is Ganon?
He's a Gerudo. So the Gerudo, so like the Ganon lore is apparently Ganondorf is a male Gerudo, and apparently male Gerudo are only born once in a generation.
Oh.
So
he's like the destined shagger of his race.
Well, that's the thing. When the Gerudo produce a son, essentially, that often means that son is destined to lead the Gerudo. That's kind of usually the case.
Yeah, if he's the only boy, then surely he's got a power of shagger to do it to keep the race up.
Well, I think that if I remember right, the Gerudo kind of function a little bit like Amazons. So they go out into the world, and they still they kind of increase their ranks by essentially going out, doing their thing, finding someone to bump uglies with. And then the line continues.
That's lame. If I was Ganon, you better believe there'd be a shaggy degree get put place.
But one of the things that these games do fairly well is these core races. They are a little bit more. The way that they're done is a little bit more believable because they are. Traveling around the world, they are mingling. It does feel, it does feel a bit more alive than it normally does, rather than everyone just sort of standing in place, going up to talk to them because they're an NPC.
Yeah, I know those guys. Oh god. I just blew my nose. Why is it full again? Holy shit. Tell me more stuff.
Thy cup runneth over. So what do we got in the shrine? First one, Bebop says, first one, Breath of the Wild had 120 plus the extra long DLC ones. Yeah, there were. Plus your 4 big temple-like dungeons via the Divine Beasts in Hyrule Castle, and there was Lost Woods puzzles in the Labyrinth. Yeah, so some places had some extra puzzles, but when you were exploring the world in Breath of the Wild, it was quite limited in what you could actually find, if that makes sense. So there was various kind of points of interest around the map, but the main things that you were looking for were shrines, so that you could increase your health and stamina, and you know, and do some puzzles. And the Korok seeds, which are the little forest children, little wooden guys, they give you seeds, and one of the Koroks can use the seeds to expand your inventory slots, so you can carry more weapons. You good? This notice is very quiet from your end.
I was muted. Sorry.
Muted.
I've been talking to you. I was saying, fuck, this is what I think it is, right? A big room full of stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
this is a death room. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I've played games before.
Yep.
Tell me about the map, because people were concerned that it was just going to be Breath of the Wild again. Not much could have changed. How long? What's the time difference? Do we know? Is that something that's an open thing, or is that secret?
It's not. I would say, like, at the point I am in the game, it's not clear exactly how much time has passed, but it's been enough time that some places have changed. So with Breath of the Wild, obviously the map is fairly enormous, and it's, you know, it's got like sort of settlements and some little villages and towns, but the way that Breath of the Wild is sort of laid out and like presented to you, it's like it's essentially a post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because like Calamity Ganon has essentially destroyed the world. There's loads of like blight everywhere. And like, you know, loads and loads of people have died. Most of the major cities and towns have all been destroyed, and it's really just little frontier villages that are left. Whereas in Tears of the Kingdom, it is, but with it being post Link saving the world the first time, it's now a bit more populated, and you can see that in Hyrule things are starting to recover and rebuild, which is kind of cool. And like the world in general is a lot more dense. There's a lot more in it. Like, fair enough. Like, playing Breath of the Wild, like it's still a great world, but I imagine if I went back to Breath of the Wild after playing Tears of the Kingdom, I'd probably find the world pretty empty.
I mean, most people found that without Tears of the Kingdom, but
yeah.
I'm glad to hear that they have taken one of what I believe was the major criticisms of the first game and fixed it.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the one big recurrent complaint from people, was just like, oh yeah, big old map, not much in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, in a sense, that there is something in its favour in that in the first game, because like it does create this sort of serene experience at times. So like sometimes you can just be out exploring and it's just super chill, and you're just like seeing what you stumble across. Like you're seeing what you're stumbling across. You're kind of looking out over the landscape. Maybe you see something in the difference and you think, oh, I'll go to that. And it's quite low. Like, I mean, there's times where, like, yeah, it does get like really kind of actiony, but there are times in Breath of the Wild where you're just like running along a landscape or floating over a big valley or something like that, and there is a certain degree of like zen in that, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that the first one takes notes from Shadow of the Colossus more than other kind of games of that style.
It's not a bad comparison, actually, because like Shadow of the Colossus was, it is, for its time, and in the remaster it was kind of improved for more modern consoles, of course, but it is a big wide open landscape. It's got next to nothing in it, except the bosses and stuff. it is more. I mean, like Breath of the Wild's more populated than that. Like that's the extreme, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the literally the world is empty. But what I was getting at was like the whole point of Shadow of the Colossus is environmental storytelling. And you
Yeah.
take this game takes place in an apocalypse, post-apocalypse, so it's using the environment and the sparseness of things in it to tell the story of like, yeah, no, like we've really fucking lost guys, like it got fucked up. And
And
now I think it's actually a really clever way to reboot the series in a sense, because like the timeline is essentially back at the start, and we're gonna see the kingdom. Like I don't imagine they'll go back to your regular Zelda games. I think this is here to stay. So imagine if they do a third one, it's going to be even further in the timeline, and it might even end up resembling something like Ocarina, where Hyrule was super populated and had like festivals and shit.
possibly, but like with well, so one thing I'll say is like is it definitely is a lot more populated. There's a lot more going on in Hyrule in this new game. And as to like to you like the concern about the map. Now, this was something I was worried about as well. You know, a lot about the map just being the same map, and it is the same map. However, there are a lot of changes. So, as I say, like some places are completely rebuilt, and like you can tell that, like going through it and like exploring it, you can tell that time has passed. So like it's effective in showing you that. The other thing is there are two there are two new kind of elements to the map. You've got obviously the Sky Islands,
Yep.
And you've got caves. Now the addition of caves is so great because like there should be like when because you know there should be like little like sort of caves and hollows and stuff that you can go into, and
Tell me you
in
like
Breath of the
Elden
Wild,
without telling me you like Elden.
well, yeah, exactly. But in Breath of the Wild, yeah, there were caves, there were like environments where you were underground, but they were like they didn't feel like they didn't feel like dungeons, I suppose. Like they didn't feel like they just felt they were part of the landscape. Whereas in this now, you have caves that are like their own little mini environments, and like each one has you know, there's like one like kind of collectible that you get one of in every cave. But like aside from that, a lot of the caves, like if there is a formula to making these caves, I've not seen it yet. Like I don't recognize a formula in any of the caves
And
because like
shockingly, that's more than you can say about Elden.
yeah, because like in games like Elden Ring, and like other RPG
Oh,
games like
yo.
Skyrim as well, like you can tell when yeah you can tell after a fashion. You can tell the sort of you can get a handle on the formula, so to speak. And you can like for example, like in Elden Ring, if you go into a mine, you know exactly the shape of like the elevator room in a mine,
Yeah.
because the elevator's in the middle, it drops down, and there's a bunch of ledges around the outside that go down to the bottom of the elevator as well, and that is used in almost every mine in the game, and quite a lot of the random caves as well. I mean, fair enough, like they do vary up, like the caves and caverns in Elden Ring, but it is done in a sort of formulaic way,
I know
and
this.
you can kind of work out you can kind of work out how you can kind of work out like where to go, kind of once you've got the formula for dungeons like that.
Yeah, it was very run in, run to Site of Grace, fight boss, leave. and that
Hmm.
was every dungeon. And even though the interior might be a little bit different, that was the loop.
You'll have noticed it in Skyrim as well. Like after a while, the dungeons sort of become formulaic enough that you know where you're going already.
Oh yeah. You just stop paying attention, follow
Yeah.
that critical path.
Whereas in Tears of the Kingdom, the caves that I've encountered in there, like I don't really notice a formula yet. There might still be one there, but I haven't noticed it yet, which is pretty good.
How the fuck did I get that?
Is there like a kind of floor that you need to drop or raise to get to it?
Oh man, that's such a good question.
So you've got the blue skull and the yellow skull. Wasn't there a yellow door that we were trying to get through?
I thought I got through that to get here.
Did you get through that? Right, okay.
Is that not this?
Oh, right, yeah, that was it.
Oh, so lost. Wait, hang on, I've got that.
Yeah, you do.
Amazing.
Now, one of the other big criticisms of Breath of the Wild, and I'm sure you probably heard about this one as well, was enemy variability. There aren't that many enemies in Breath of the Wild, and not that they're like it's not like underpopulated. It's like enemy variety isn't there, and I can say that has been, it's definitely been addressed with the new game. There are a lot more enemies, a lot of returning Zelda enemies, like some enemies in Zelda that have been around since Zelda 1.
Cool.
That making their return again, which is pretty cool. Again, not going to say what ones they are because that'll be fun for someone to play the game and find out for themselves.
Yeah, that's cool.
But one that I can, I do feel that I can mention is there was a Gleeok in the trailer for the game. The Gleeok is the like multi-headed dragon from Zelda 1.
Ah, cute.
Yeah,
We
so
like our old references.
Yeah, so they brought him back. He's in the trailer. So that's kind of like freely available. I don't think that's a spoiler.
No, if it's in the trailer, then fuck that. That's marketing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Now enemy variety is a lot better. I get the feeling that by the time I reach the end of the game, if they don't keep like bringing new enemies into it, I get the feeling that by the end of the game I'll probably feel a kind of similar way. I'll probably say, oh well, I'm starting to see all these same enemies over and over again. But at the moment, it's still being fresh. I don't have any complaints about it.
That's really good to hear. I would have been very sad on your behalf if the game was shitty. Oh, there's a hole up there.
Oh.
How did I get to the hole? That hole is my goal. Can I Skyrim it?
Skyrim up the wall.
Yeah. What? Oh, come on. Come on, dim guy. Oh my god, it's working. Okay. Nah, it's not gonna work. Okay, gotta figure this out. How do I get you? You little asshole.
So what bits of the map have we not explored yet? Because that's usually the indicator. It's of where to go. It's like a bit that we've not explored.
You've been everywhere.
Bebop says, just made the ultimate weapon in Tears of the Kingdom. I stuck a skeleton arm to another skeleton arm.
Oh. That's handy.
So yeah, like that's one thing that's kind of all change. So like the powers that you get are all different. Like I don't think any of them return from Breath of the Wild, because You don't have like summonable bombs anymore because you just get bomb flowers, and you can just pick them up in the overworld. Instead of like stasis, you've got recall, which is basically you can target an object that's in motion or has recently been in motion and rewind it.
Okay.
So, like for example, one of the things that gets shown in the trailer again, but it's something that you do quite a lot in the game, is that occasionally you'll see a rock fallen from the sky, because there are like sky islands.
Yes.
Up in the sky, and there are rocks that occasionally fall down from them, and you can target one of those rocks and rewind it, step onto the rock, and then shoot up into the air, because the rock just goes back up the way it came. And there is a surprising amount of objects that you can rewind. Like for example, if an enemy throws a big rock at you, you can rewind it right back into the stupid face.
Boy.
Which is really funny. So there's a lot of things you can do with that. Next power you get is Fuse, which is the one that Bebop was describing. So one thing that they do to kind of prompt you to use this power is a lot of the weapons that you find just lying about are quite shit. Oh yeah, this is your favourite, isn't it?
Oh yeah, there's a buffet and I am the chef, and the only thing I'm serving is knuckle sandwiches.
Knuckle sandwiches with a side of pain.
All you can eat, baby. There you go. Who's hungry? Got a nice 2-course meal for you. What, man?
Yeah. So as King Kong says, a lot of the weapons in the game are decayed because of like an event that happens in the game. So a lot of the weapons are decayed, and Fuse is what helps you get around that, because you can stick a weapon or a shield to something else.
Wow, he's got magic glue.
Yeah, so essentially, right? Say you've got like a rusty sword, and then you fight an enemy and you kill it, and its horn drops as an item. You can take that horn and stick it onto the sword, and then you've got a slightly better sword.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of how you get most of the weapons that you'll end up using, and it's quite fun to kind of mess around with different kind of configurations. Some work better than others. It is still the same kind of 3 main weapon types. You've got one-handed, two-handed, and bows.
Yeah.
But there is a lot more. There's a lot more variety and a lot more like kind of aesthetic variety because of this fusion system.
Sounds very cool. I've seen lots of memes of like stills from The Simpsons where they're putting together a go-kart out like a mattress and some old tires.
Yeah, so that's the next power that I was going to talk about. That's Ultra Hand.
Alright, okay, I thought that was Fuse.
No. Fuse is just for weapons and shields.
Right.
So Ultra Hand is so broken. So basically, in Breath of the Wild, as I say, there was a power called Magnesis that you could move any metal object, just like lift it off the ground, manipulate it, and stack them on top of each other, whatever. With Ultra Hand, you can do that with most most non-static objects. So like say there's like you can't like lift a portion of the ground out of the ground, but there's like if there's a boulder you can lift that.
Cool.
And what you might have seen if you've seen any of the trailers is there are items that you can stick together and make things out of, and you can make kind of pretty much anything from bolts to sort of hot air balloons, rudimentary airships. You can even make a sort of dune buggy type thing.
That's cool.
One of the most hilarious ones that I've made so far was a sled with two fans on the back of it.
Nice.
So it was like a swamp boat, but it went over the snow.
You're in the bayou.
It was very funny. Trying to steer it was a nightmare.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm glad you're having fun with it. I was so worried. It's going to be good.
Well, with the Ultra Hand, you can make things. You can pretty much stick anything to anything. You get that is your your sort of magic super glue, where you can like construct little vehicles and stuff. And again, that was something I got super worried at when I saw it, because like I was like, oh shit, is this looks a bit Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. I don't like this. But no, it's super fun.
Well, that's good. Like I say, I was so worried that it was going to be shit.
Yeah.
So
And
much has these days, so much promise.
yeah. And last power that I've found, there is one more other than this, but I've not unlocked it yet, and I don't know what it is. So the last power that you get is one called what's it called again? This is Ascend. Now Ascend is the most broken ability in the game. Right,
I think I've seen this.
So you probably have, because it's nutty, and it's not something that is easy to forget having seen. But
yeah, this
basically,
is like concrete swim.
Yeah, so essentially the rules for Ascend are:
right,
if you have a ceiling above you,
right,
and that ceiling is a flat surface, you can jump through the ceiling and pop out the other side of it. It doesn't matter how much material is between those two surfaces, you'll go through it.
That's not broken.
You can use this. Obviously, there are like kind of like traversal challenges where it's mandatory, and mandatory with an asterisk next to it. But like there are things that is used as a traversal mechanic. But there is also ways to abuse Ascend and skip out huge portions of the game.
I can imagine there would be, like, before people were already finding ways to clip through the walls to get into temples from the outside, and now it's just like, oh, you just put it in the game? Thanks, bro.
Yeah, and because the game has like that, and it has like these other like kind of broken powers that you get to like manipulate the world and objects in the world, it almost seems like the people who made it kind of want you to mess with it, and I quite like the idea of that.
Yeah, that definitely gets points from me when the devs just like, do you know what? Break the game, have fun.
Because like in a way, like there are when you're approaching a puzzle in this game, in a way it's very similar to how you would approach a puzzle in something like Deus Ex.
Yes. Where
there are many solutions to one problem.
Speaking of solutions to a problem, is it this? Yes, it is. Sorry.
It is. Little markers on it, but yeah, many solutions to one problem. So, like for instance, if there's a big tower in front of you, yeah, you could, you could climb it, you could brute force it. You could, craft yourself some potions to get yourself extra stamina and climb up it, or you could make a little machine that flies you up there, or you could find a spot where you could get a flat surface and ascend to the top. Like, there's multiple ways to do it.
That's very cool.
And each way seems like that. There's not like, how like sometimes in a game you'll do something that you're not sure you're supposed to have been able to do.
Yeah.
And then like usually there's some like in-game consequence for that. Like there's some like you kind of get the feeling like, oh, I maybe wasn't really meant to do that. But it worked.
Soft lock hits. You're like,
yeah. But like, yeah, you feel like you're not meant to do that, and I don't know. I don't know if I should have done that. Don't know if that's really meant to work that way. With Tears of the Kingdom, it's very much like, oh, did you do it? Yeah, well done.
I think if you go into it with the mindset that there should not be just one solution, you just put stuff in it, make it challenging, test it a few times to see if it can be beaten, and then be like, yep, cool, people will figure this out on their own. Yeah.
And like in a game where you are solving puzzles all the time, it is super gratifying to beat that puzzle, but not just beat that puzzle, the way that someone intended you to beat it, beating the puzzle with your own brain and like, choosing the method by which you do it. That's super gratifying.
It is. It reminds me of something that I'll get into with my little game analysis that I'm going to do after yours.
But I am pretty much done, because I can't really talk about anything else without revealing, things that happen in the game, and I really don't want to do that, because look, it is really great, and the people who are, excited to play it and excited to explore it, I want them to, I want them to enjoy it as much as I am, like knowing literally nothing. I've not looked anything up whilst playing it.
Oh wow! So you don't know that Zelda is pregnant with Ganondorf's child?
Yeah, it's got a little green baby on the way.
She does. You had no idea. Sorry to spoil that, man. Surprise! It's Zelda's twin sister, Sheik. Surprise! They're the same person, you've never seen them in the same room. It's a triple twist. M. Night's really going for this paycheck.
He saw Ocarina of Time and he's like, oh, finding out that Sheik is in fact Zelda at the end of Ocarina of Time. Oh, that was so amazing. We're going to twist it more.
Keep twisting it until it comes off. That should be a thing.
And that's what happened in The Happening.
Yeah, fuck.
Keep twisting until it comes off.
We should make that a recurrent segment where it's like M Shite Shyamalan.
M Shite, love it.
Yeah, M Shite. He's in the room. He's like, alright, M Shite, we're looking for a good idea for the new Zelda game. Alright, I've got it. Okay, so, alright. They're like, twin brother, aye? It's like, how'd you know? Like, okay,
but yes,
so Tears of the Kingdom takes place in a world that we call Hyrule. Right, do you know why we call it Hyrule? Because it's actually on the moon. I think I can get Haley Joel Osment to play Link.
Nah, if there's a Zelda, there very well may be a Zelda movie, in the cards now, because of how successful Mario's been, and how and like there was like a thing from an article recently that Eiji Onuma from Nintendo, Mr. Zelda, has said that he was quite impressed with with the Mario movie, and wouldn't be closed to the possibility of a Zelda movie.
Zelda movie in the works, confirmed.
If we get that, it's probably going to be. They'd probably make it Tom Holland, wouldn't they?
No. Do you know what they would do? They would get Tom Holland, and they would get Mark Wahlberg, and then they would say, right, one of them's young Link and one of them's adult Link. Tom Holland's adult Link. You're like, what the fuck then? Who's Mark Wahlberg? You're like, he's Epona.
He's a boner.
What the fuck?
It's just a horse with Mark Wahlberg's head.
I was thinking it's literally just Tom Holland getting a piggyback off Mark Wahlberg through a field. He's just like screaming the Zelda theme. Da 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 da. Have you heard that fucking song that's like a System of a Down song about Zelda?
Yeah, it's not System of a Down. People thought it was because because the lead singer had an accent, but that song's actually made by a band called the Rabbit Joint.
That's such a fucking shame for them not getting credited properly.
Yeah, it was. It did do when it was doing the rounds, like kind of when that song first got released. I think it was like in the heyday of Newgrounds.
Yeah, it was.
That was a long time ago. But when it did the rounds, like people were like, "Oh yeah, that's System of a Down. They're doing a song about Zelda. That's awesome." And it wasn't.
The song was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Now Link, fill up your hearts and swing your sword of power. Oh, great. The only person I would trust to write lyrics that good is Jonathan Cole.
But yeah, to round off my sort of Zelda segment, I suppose. I want to touch on something that you'd said earlier on, which was like, you know, where does Zelda go from here?
Yeah.
And I think you are right about that. There's one thing that you said that you are kind of very much right about, and that is it's going to be hard to move on in Zelda now without an open world. Like, now that they've opened that can of worms, like now that genie's out of the bottle, it's going to be quite hard to get that back in, unless, you know, they go back to like a really tightly designed linear adventure like the older games were.
I mean, I think I've got it sussed out what the next step is, actually, just you talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
We maybe get one more open world game,
Mm-hmm.
but then halfway through, some bitch is going to flood the world.
Yeah.
And then it's modern Wind Waker.
Modern Wind Waker.
Yeah, you're just going to sail between the islands and shit.
But what I would say is, like, I mean, even if they do go back to more linear adventure after this, I think a lot of the DNA of the Switch Zelda games will stick around. I think there's things in these games that are not gonna disappear anytime soon.
Yeah, I think so. What if, right, and this is obviously not how water works, but what if the Earth was flooded all the way up to the point where the Sky Islands are at like ground level? So the next map is the Sky Islands as the overworld map. The underworld map is like you have to swim and get down and like find all the stuff down there, and it's all decayed and aquatic now, and there's new shit down there. And we get Aqua Ganon, and then
Zelda Subnautica edition.
well, yeah, something like that. And then there could be something above the Sky Islands that we didn't know about until now, like something really high up.
Well, like the in Wind Waker, see all the islands in Wind Waker.
Yeah.
It is basically what they said. What they kind of said was the reason for that. It gets explained to you towards the end of the game. It's basically all the mountaintops.
Right.
So like all the islands that you go to in Wind Waker are all like mountaintops and plateaus and stuff that have crested the top of the water after the world was flooded.
Alright, so yeah, do that. I think that's where they'll go next.
I mean, like bringing back sailing wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I suppose.
Well, yeah, because I think freedom of movement is like a thing, and this would be a way to change it up, keep it familiar.
Yeah.
Basically just rehash an old idea but get more money out of it, and I think it would work.
Yeah. But one thing that I will say is that just to finish us off, is that a lot of people were were worried that because Breath of the Wild, as I said at kind of the beginning of this, was in places it didn't really feel like a Zelda game. It felt like some other adventure game with Zelda branding on it. And I think with the new game, it definitely feels more like Zelda. Just because of the way that everything's laid out, the way that everything's designed, the way that like everything's put together. Something about it has dramatically improved the Zelda-ness of it. But like, even though some of the jank from Breath of the Wild is still there, like, I think it's an all-around improvement. And when you think about it as well, like a huge massive open world that you explore at your kind of your own pace, and it's not really, it doesn't really tell you anything. That is kind of what happened in the very first Zelda game.
Yeah.
Because like in Zelda 1, it was a big open world. Fair enough, it was 2D and top down. But you did have to explore it. You did have to find like all the hidden caves. You did have to find like all the dungeons, some of which were like quite hard to find. There's a dungeon in Zelda 1 that you only find the entrance if you burn the right tree in among like a whole host of like trees that take up nearly an entire screen.
Yeah.
And you like don't know it unless you like sit there and like burn each and every tree, or you look up how to do it. You don't find that dungeon.
Yeah, I remember going back and trying to play classic Zelda as an adult and being like, the fuck? How do you figure this out?
Yeah. But like the figuring out of like how to solve the puzzle, that is core to Zelda, and that is there. And I cannot wait to play more of it. It's been a wild ride so far.
I would not be upset if you were playing it right now.
Emma is playing it right now. Yeah.
You're gonna sit and giving smug looks across the room on Thursday, I tell you.
I've been off today, so I've been playing it all day.
Nice.
Bebop says 48.1k channel points. Rules of Nature intensifies.
Oh god. What are you gonna do to me this time? Why do you keep accumulating these so fast?
So, what's on the docket from your side of things? I promise I'll stop talking about Zelda now.
No, you won't. So I have been playing a new game myself.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that I have never played before, and I went into with some expectations, and they have been subverted. And I just kind of wanted to give a review of it and let people know what I think, because I have an ego.
Well, people do come here every week to hear you talk, so
yeah,
I don't think
guys,
it's that much of an ego thing.
I'm positive you can get medication if you just go to your doctor and tell them that. They'll be like, oh, Jesus. Bad. Right, so you know that I'm a big fan of real-time strategy games, and one in particular is XCOM.
Indeed.
And I was having a wee bit of a craving for the COM. You know, the Sandman was talking to me about it, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, XCOM, what a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So I googled games like XCOM.
Yeah.
Just to see what else is out there, and if there's anything that can scratch that itch that isn't just playing XCOM 2 again. Because, you know, new trophies, whatever. So, on the list, there was a game called Desperados 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, I've never heard of that, what is that? So I looked into it, and it was described as Old West XCOM.
Sounds cool.
Sounds really cool. I love the idea of having, like, the Old West style mechanics in like an XCOM game. There's so much you could do with that, so much. It looked awesome. And then I looked into it a wee bit more, and I was like, okay, it's not exactly like XCOM. It's not like a grid. It's not turn by turn. It's kind of like real time, and instead of a grid, it's like a big open map, and you can see all of it. There's no like fog of war or anything like that. But I was like, yeah, okay. People have said on things that it's like
Mhm.
the thing that I really like, so I'll give it a shot. I'm going to pause to blue menus.
While you're doing that, like there is another XCOM I like that I hear is very very good. As in another game like XCOM. Apparently that
Say
Mario and
Mario and
Rabbids is
Rabbids. I
really
knew you
good.
were going to say it.
Yeah, apparently it's really good.
Ah, yeah, it's actually pretty fucking good. It's actually pretty good. So, wait, what is this? Is that
So,
this? Jeez. It just depends on the game, really. Uh, yeah. So, Desperados 3. People said it's like
mhm.
XCOM. I like XCOM. So, and I like kind of the idea of an old west XCOM. I'm not like a big Western fan, but you know, I like Django. I think if the shit's done right, it's really cool.
Yeah,
You know, there's something about the old west swords, and you've not got like infinite rounds and shit like that, so you have to do a bit more thinking.
yeah. Plus the aesthetic is kind of cool.
Yeah, it really is, man. I like duster coats. So,
Yeah,
yeah, loading it
big
up.
brim hats.
Loading it up, and I'm taking a look at the trophy list, and it's like, yeah, you gotta play the game on hard if you want to get everything. So yeah, okay, cool. I've played XCOM. I've done an Iron Man run on the hardest difficulty and actually made it. Not on stream, off stream. But on stream I'm trying to get you killed. Yeah, so just playing through it. I have so many thoughts on it, and the first one I want to get into is an issue of balance. This game, have you played XCOM?
I have. I mean, I've played games like XCOM. I don't think I've actually played XCOM itself.
Alright, okay, so XCOM, brief rundown of
Seen it played.
characters. Yeah, brief rundown of the characters. You get the sharpshooter, standard sniper, he's got a pistol, they've got the ability to provide cover fire as long as somebody else can see the thing.
Yeah.
Really cool. And they've got the ability to do like, it's like an automatic, if somebody hits them, they automatically fire back with a pistol, that kind of shit.
All right. So like they get a counter.
Yeah. So they get a counter. They've got the longest range, probably the lowest health, but they make up for it with lots of cool shit. And the pistol isn't dog shit either. It's pretty good. So
Yeah.
then you've got the specialist. He's got a wee gizmo, wee gadget. That boy can either go about healing people or go about sabotaging machines and put them potentially on your side for a couple of turns,
Nice.
which can really turn the tide of battle. Like really, it's insane. They've also got like a few other wee things that they can do, but that's mostly their gimmick is just doing the robot. Then you've got the ranger, sort of my favourite classes. He's got a shotgun, which is extremely powerful at close range, but also a sword. And you can get an ability with the sword where if you kill something with the sword, you get another turn.
Oh right. Okay.
So you can imagine that you can just run around doing the whole like Kill Bill shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then the other class, the fourth class, is the Grenadier. And that is pretty much what it sounds like. You get big old booms, big range, big explosives, big damage, terrain destruction, chain gun, but you move really slow.
The tank class.
Yeah, and it's a really cool balance, right? Because you've got all these different classes that all have unique abilities, and they are all pretty equal. Like when I'm going into a mission, if I can only take 3, I guess the sniper is the one that I wouldn't take, but that is only if I knew the map and I knew the sniper was useful, I'd absolutely take the sniper over the grenadier or the specialist. They're all pretty balanced is what I'm getting at here. Yeah, this shit is not balanced at all.
Right, okay.
Not all units were created equal. So in this one, it's not a case of you have loads of recruits and they've got like a different class and you go through it and you have to like select your units and choose them for the mission and blah 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 blah. In this one, you've got 5 specific characters
Mm-hmm.
that are, like they're the main characters. None of them can die at any point during a mission, so that's already quite a big change. To counter that, what they've done is they've put a quick save on the touchpad, and then you can just really quickly reload if you fuck up a wee section. So it's got a built-in save scum mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not all about, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going through it, working through the game, you have to use your 5 characters, and the game does this really fucking annoying thing where every level it's like, oh, this character isn't here for this reason, so this is the level where you're playing with this mix of characters, and this is the level where you're playing with this mix of characters. And at first I was like, oh cool, that'll add a different bit of challenge to it, that'll make the game really, varied and interesting. Hell nah. Hell nah. Whenever a mission starts, I'm just looking at it going, oh, please be in the team. So I'll talk you through the 5 classes, and I'll let you see if you can pick out the differences here, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm playing on the hardest difficulty. If you get shot, that's 1 point of health. Okay?
Right.
Pretty much all of my guys have 2 points of health. So I'm playing on the hardest one, so I can only get seen and shot twice. So the first guy that you start off with, he's like your cowboy, right? And his whole gimmick is that he has got 2 6-shooters.
I was going to say, is he got his trusty 6-shooter?
He does, he's got his 6-shooters. It's more of a stealth game than anything. You want to do is like stealth kills and shit. But he's got his gun there. The gun is very loud, so if you use that, you're probably going to draw attention.
Yeah.
But if you use it, he does have the ability, you've got like a pause menu where you can plan actions. He does have the ability to shoot 2 people at one time.
Okay.
So, pew pew.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fine. He's also got a knife, and as long as he is holding the knife, then he can kill people. But if he does not have the knife, then all he can do is stun them, or like knock them out.
Right.
And if you've got rope, you can tie them up, but the game never fucking tells. It's not an item. It doesn't tell you if you've got rope or not. It's just some missions are like, oh, we don't have rope.
Uh-huh.
And there's no indicator, so it's like, alright, okay. So, yeah, so he's got that. He's got his 6-shooter, he's got his knife. You can throw the knife, but obviously when you throw the knife, you have to go and get that shit back. So is he less accurate? No, there's no accuracy. It's literally if you've got line of sight and he's in range, you can just take the shot 100%. That's your action. There's no percentage mechanics. That's for Roan. So, oh god damn it, hang on. I had to take my healer. Oh Jesus. So, yeah, he's got that, and he's also got a coin. Alright?
Okay.
You can flick the coin in a direction, and it will go ching. And anybody that hears that will turn around and go, what was that noise?
Oh, so it's like a distracting thing.
Yeah, because everybody all the enemies have like line of sight. It's another thing that really annoys me. I'll get into it when I'm talking about the game's mechanics, but the line of sight mechanic really pisses me off. Anyway, so that is the weapons of the cowboy. That's his arsenal. You've got the coin for distraction, the knife for stealth kills and throwing, and then the gun for pew pew if you get in a situation, right? 2 points of health. So let's just call him like the vanilla character. That's your basic character. So all the other ones can be compared to him. Second character we get Dr. McCoy. When you meet him, your cowpoke says to Dr. McCoy, "Whoa, I've never worked with a Scotsman before." And Dr. McCoy goes, "Well, you darn tootin' you have now, so yeehaw!" So I don't know what the fuck that is, but that's in the game. Super weird. I'm not, like, the accent was exaggerated, but he is American.
The non-Scottish people.
Aye, like, your name's McCoy, you're clearly Scottish.
Ah, right. Okay. No, I see what's happening here. So this is an American Scottish person. This is the sort of person that says that they're Scottish because, like, 1/8 of their grandparents was related to a Scottish person.
Oh my god, my gran was from Orkney, and I'm an uppie. I'm actually 1/8 Scotch.
Oh God.
I know, right? Jesus
But yeah,
fucking
that's the
Christ.
kind of that's clearly the kind of Scottish person you have here.
The one time I've had that, I was at a festival in Canada, and some guy heard me talking. He called me over, and he was like the guess your height, guess your age, guess your weight guy,
Right, yeah.
and he was like, I bet I can guess where you're from, and I was just like, I bet you can, eh? And I really exaggerated the accent, and he just went, ha ha ha, no, I can tell, I can tell. Scottish, aye? And I was like, aye, aye. And he's like, aye, I've got family in Belfast. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Do you think that Scotland's in Ireland, or do you think Belfast's in Scotland? I'm so confused.
You're wrong both times, but what way are you wrong?
Yeah, like, he was doing so well, and then he fucked it up. I was actually impressed. I was going to go like, alright mate, aye, that's cool, where they foo? Have a wee word with him, really throw the accent on, maybe say donkey like Shrek just to impress him. But no, the only donkey that day was him.
Yep.
Fucking spud. Anyway, so you've got McCoy, right? He's the doctor. And his abilities are, shockingly, he's got a heal. It does 2 points of health. Now, here's the thing, right? You can't use it on any of your allies when they are at when they have less than 2 points of health to heal. But because of the difficulty I'm on, we only have 2 health, so McCoy can't heal anyone but himself.
Right.
Selfish bastard.
He gets high on his own supply.
He's sitting out filling out his own prescription book. But anyway, so McCoy's a fucking sus bastard. He's got his heal, he's got a little bag, like his medical bag, and you can throw that out to distract people, and they'll come up and open it up, and it's really smelly inside, so they go, oh, and they get all discombobulated for a wee bit. So it's like
these pet fiend motherfuckers are really fucking you up.
It's the flu that's fucking me up. I'm really not thinking about anything. I'm just trying to like autopilot through it and hope for the best. I'm really quite struggling, to be honest. But I'll do it. I'll get through it for you.
You can do it. Yeah. I'm sure. Like this stream or next week, if you really struggle this week, will be the last one.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna kill it. Kill it to death. So yeah, McCoy's got his medical bag. It's like the coin, but it's also got like a little bit of a stun mechanic on it.
Right.
Better, I'd say. His gun can only have 5 shots maximum.
Okay.
It's a very, very long range pistol that can basically shoot like halfway across the map with incredible accuracy. So he's basically your sniper. So he can take out guards on posts that are like you'd have to climb a ladder or something to get up to. He's pretty good that way, and he's got one more ability, which is shit. What's the top one? He is also capable of outright killing people, and that's not dependent on him having a knife. It just depends on if he has his syringe, which never runs out. So you can always kill people with him. But when you do kill somebody, when he's dragging the body away to hide it, he's very slow.
Alright.
He cannot climb any like vines or anything, only ladders. He's not very like agile. He's got some other fucking skill, but I never use it. You know that way, so I don't even know what it is.
Alright.
So what would you say? How did you think he stacks up to this first guy? Seem balanced so far?
Well, yeah, it seems like I think like, you know, with him only being able to heal himself, I think that's kind of sucky.
That is because of the difficulty I'm playing on.
Right. Okay. So if you weren't playing on the hardest difficulty, you would be able to heal other party members.
I imagine they've got more health on lower difficulties.
Right. Okay. And yeah, so like a medic sniper, that's kind of interesting. But the kind of I would say like just because of the way like his mechanics seem to work, compared to the first guy, yeah, a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah. Oh, he also can't swim. The first guy can't swim, and he can climb anything. Right. All right. So then we've got Kate. Kate is the lady.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Her job is to look real sexy and to walk over to the fellas and go yoo-hoo, and then they all go hubba hubba, and then they follow her wherever she takes them. She's only got a short. They don't stay charmed for very long, but you can lure them like round corners and shit, and you are able to then shank them with one of the fellas does all the heavy lifting on this occasion.
Right. So does she not have have weapons of her own? No, other than the charm offensive.
So she has taken some women's self-defense classes at the Old West Rec, because she has a knee to the bollocks followed by a judo chop to the back of the neck, which I believe is the classic self-defense technique taught at most shopping centres in America.
Okay.
So she can only knock people out, and then her drag speed is terrible. She does have a little vial of perfume that if you throw at people, it's got like an AoE where it kind of reduces their line of sight for a little bit, because it gets in their eyes and shit.
Right.
And she's also got a little pink handle. I swear to God, it's pink. Pink handled pistol, like a pistole almost.
Right.
It's only got 5 shots as well, and it has got very short range and it's very quiet. It's a very like ladylike weapon. But when she runs out of bullets, she can't shoot anybody. Right. Oh, I should point out as well, there are like 3 different types of enemies.
Don't miss the droid.
What droid?
Go back.
Oh. There are 3 types of enemies. Lock-on burst. Yeah, I'll do that.
Lock-on burst is good, especially for the last boss.
Oh fuck me! Really? Are you fucking serious? Jesus.
Oh.
So yeah, Kate can do this. Right? There's 3 types of enemies. So there's just basic enemies, and they're like your pickaxe wielding, straw hat, big bit of straw hanging out of their mouth, like, howdy partner, I've been brewing the moonshine. Like those kind of guys.
Generic hick.
Yeah, they're not very smart, they're labourers, they're that kind of thing. Then you've got the guys who are a wee bit more in charge, they're wearing ponchos.
Alright.
Yeah, so the guys that are a wee bit higher up wear ponchos. The ponchos will not be fooled by Kate. They will talk to her, but they cannot be lured away from their post. So the hicks can be moved away from their station and manipulated. The ponchos can be spoken to but not moved. What the fuck is this? Is this like a civil war? What the fuck am I looking at?
Well, this is this not the Crucible? This is like the places. This is like one of the places where the demons fight one another.
Weird. Yeah, so that's pretty much Kate's moveset. What do you think? Oh yeah, sorry, the other guys, the long coats. The long coats are like the big bosses. They will see through her disguise, and if you want to take down a long coat, they've got 3 points of health, right? So you either have to shoot one to stagger him, and then have somebody go up behind when he's staggered and melee him.
Right.
Or you can shoot him 3 times, or you can use like some kind of environmental effect.
Ah, right, okay. So with was it Kate you said her name was?
Yes, Kate.
Yeah.
Kate O'Hara.
So like she seems to be what you would maybe describe as like a rogue or a technical.
Yeah, she's kind of the technical. Yeah, she's not really there for killing. She's there for moving pieces on the board.
Yeah. But if you're gonna have a rogue or technical character, and that's all they can do, that's kind of underwhelming. Like I think like if you're gonna be having, I mean, plus there's also the sort of slightly problematic element of it.
I do not know what you are referring. Yeah, so I actually forgot to tell you something about Kate as well.
Oh.
Her whole thing is the disguises, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't fucking bring any with her.
Eh?
You have to find one on each level. She never brings her disguise with her. She never brings a sexy dress with her, even though she always ends up wearing one. So she's got like her regular clothes, like her rancher clothes, because she has like a farm. She's got like her farm girl clothes, and her portrait is just like a normal ginger lassie. And then she puts the disguise on, and her portrait gets all dolled up. So does she.
Right.
But also like, yeah, she knows her role in this team, but she does not ever bring the disguise. So for about a third of each level, until you can find somebody wearing a dress that fits her, kill them and then steal their clothes without alerting everybody, you have basically just a woman who has got a very short range pistol and cannot kill otherwise.
Yeah, because like
quite useless.
So for your rogue characters, I mean, like you kind of archetypes with like kind of rogue technicals. You know, usually it's like they have like a maybe they have maybe a stealth kill. Maybe they'll have some kind of gadget to like set up as a trap. But like I'm not really seeing that any of that here. And you say the disguise is like not even available. It's not even brought with her. It's just picked off of somebody else. I mean that does kind of make sense if you were trying to like infiltrate a place and make yourself look like the bad guys.
Yeah, or like they wore different uniforms in different areas,
yeah.
So you had to change from like different coloured shirts or something. Nah, none of that, man. None of that.
Or like, I mean, you could also, if you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, and like the outfit was just like planted in the level somewhere. It's like, oh yeah, I left a dress here earlier.
Yeah, no.
And you need to, and then there would be like, if it was designed around that, then there would be an element of, right, okay, I need to get Kate to this room because there's like. Because that's where her item is this time around.
Yeah, pretty much. That is what it turns into. As soon as you start a level with her, you're like, right, where's your fucking disguise so we can go and get it?
And I mean, there's ways to do that where it could be fun, but again, like I'm still from what I've heard, the first guy's still the best guy.
Yeah. So now we get on to the two characters that are actually playable.
Okay.
And as I said, not all characters are created equal. Would you like to hear about Isabel or Hector?
Okay, well, let's hear about Isabel.
Right, okay, so again, we've heard about the cowboy, knife, coin, gun. The doctor, medical bag, syringe, heals. Sniper, then we've heard about Kate.
Kate is small gun, charms, disguises.
Yeah, Kate is the lady. So Isabel, right? Isabel Moreau, which is a famous name. She was a voodoo priestess, allegedly IRL. She was quite powerful. So she's in the game. Here's some of the things she can do. She has got a little blow dart that will chain two people together. Not physically, I mean spiritually. So you can you can link two enemies on the map together, and if you kill one, the other will die. That's cool. Right. She's got another little dart that she shoots at people, and it lets her straight up mind control the fuckers. And what I've found to be really effective is if you link two enemies together, then you take control of one of them, send him somewhere else in the map to kill one of the other guys on the map, All the other guys will turn around and kill him in retaliation, and then the other guy he's linked to will also die. She's also got a cat, which she can send out at very long ranges to distract people for short periods of time. And she's got a self-heal that heals 1 HP, and she can use it as often as it just recharges, and she can just keep using it indefinitely.
Okay.
So that's Isabel. How does she stack up compared to the other 3?
She's the best character now.
Oh, she can also straight up kill people with her knife. She's got slow drag speed, she can swim and climb, and she's very fast.
Yeah, so, yeah, already sold.
Yeah. And then there's Hector.
So before we go on to Hector, I'm going to take a brief, a brief aside to say Ronan's asking when the next XCOM stream is.
Oh, fuck, I don't know. When I get a PS5, that'll keep you happy. I need to go grab a drink, I'll be right back.
No worries. Alright, so yeah, so this game sounds like something that Dargo's went into probably quite excited about and been disappointed by. And that kind of came out of left field, didn't it? Suddenly, you know, we've got cowboy with 6-shooter, we've got a doctor with a gun, we've got a southern belle, and now a voodoo priestess. Took a real left turn there. So I'm not even sure what to expect from this last guy now. Hector, he said his name was. So, folks, how are we feeling about potentially the end of Doom? We've got an hour left, and I definitely think he can do it. I think there's not enough game left for another stream of this, I don't think. Well, he has got a lot of cleanup to do off stream, of course, because there's all the multiplayer stuff, there's the snap map related trophies, and if there's, you know, if we do end up carrying on to next week, we might be able to show some snap map stuff, because that's the level creator, and that could be quite fun. Bebop says less Doom means more Doom Eternal.
I left my fucking drink out in the hall when I went to the toilet. Oh, breathing's getting rough. Let me just take my inhaler. And then we'll talk about Hector. Hector is bust as shit as well.
Ah, right, okay.
Okay, so Hector is a very big boy.
Oh.
Right? His melee is an X, and he can use that to one-shot anything, even the 3 HP long coats.
Right.
So Hector is an absolute machine. He can just tear through shit. He has got a bear trap called Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
You put Bianca down, you do a little whistle, people go, what was that noise? They come over to look, and the next time they're fucking dead because Bianca's eating them.
Right.
It's silent, so nobody around will be alerted from hearing it, but they can obviously see it.
Mm-hmm.
He's also got a flask of whiskey. It's only for him, but it can fully heal him, and he is the only character that's got 4 points of health.
Right, okay. So very tanky.
Oh yeah. And he's also got a shotgun, like a sawn-off shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
It just fires in like an arc, and anything that's inside that arc, regardless of how many things are in that arc, will die. So I've very easily taken out like 9 dudes before with one shotgun shot, and he can have 4 on him at a time.
Right. So it just sprays out in a big cone, and anything in that cone dies.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Except the long coats, they get stunned. But like I said, he can just run up and then one shot them.
Okay. So.
Oh, I should also point out while Hector cannot climb stuff very good, he can carry 2 bodies at one time, and he can run full pace with them.
Right. So now, so yeah, I'm beginning now that we've went through these characters. I am beginning to see what you mean by there being a balance problem.
Yeah. Yeah, when I start a level, if I don't have Hector and or Isabel, I'm worried. And if I've got them, it is so easy. I sit the other 3 in a corner, and then I just go to work with those 2. And there's been games like the maps have like 100+ enemies on them sometimes. There has been games where it's been like Hector has 60 kills, Isabel has 40, and maybe McCoy's got one wee sniper.
Oh yeah. You know how you were saying like McCoy has one more move that he can't remember.
Yeah.
That must be the move where he turns blue and hairy and climbs up the wall.
Yeah, he does turn into Beast. he is Dr. McCoy. Dr. Hank McCoy. But yeah, so level design. Level design pisses me the fuck off.
Right.
And it is because of the field of view mechanic. So everybody, it's like Metal Gear, remember on the Soliton radar?
Yeah.
You could see their cone of view, and you could use that to determine if you were like safe or not.
Yeah.
Very similar in this one, except their field of view is massive. Like,
Right.
They've got a really big cone, which is fair enough because people do generally have quite a big field of view. So I'll accept it. And there's little areas in it. If you've got a full solid colour in that field of view, then they'll just see you if you're there, regardless of if you're crouching. But then they've got a little shaded bit that if you're just crouching, they won't see you. It's fine. But the way that enemies are positioned, right? So it's not like XCOM. It's one big open map, and you can see everything from the get-go. But you can't just see everybody's field of view. You have to individually click on people to see their individual field of view.
Oh.
So you've got to kind of keep it in your mind where people are looking. And now imagine you just started from the very, like when you're placing enemies in the map, it's as if the guys have just gone, right, have 2 guys or 3 guys near the start that are all looking at each other. So you have to kind of organise like a group kill, right? But then have every one of those guys have 1 or 2 guys looking at them as well. And then every one of those guys has 1 or 2 guys looking at them as well. And then every one of those guys, and it just keeps going back and back and back and back all the way up to the end of the map. So the only way you can do it, like, legit, is if you were, like, completely stealthy, is if you are either really good at luring people and watching the fields of view and not being tricked by the traps and shit like that, or you get to the end of the map and work your way to the start so you can get your jobber characters that are useless through it.
Right.
Which I've found myself doing quite a lot. And there's been a few levels where I felt like they have been complete opposites. Here's an example. There was a level that I was playing where I was largely having to use McCoy and the fucking cowboy, right? And the gameplay loop for that was just do a small section, click the quick save, try the next wee section, fail, reload, fail, reload, fail, reload, fail, reload, did it, right, okay, click. That's we got past like 2 more guys, and I'm in a slightly better position, right, so click that. And it just became like an hour and a half of just playing the same little fucking loop over and over and over again until I pushed forward a tiny little bit. And then using the quick save, and then reloading it, and it was not fun.
Right.
And like most of the levels have been like that. It's just like I've used the quick save, the save scum mechanic that's part of the game. It's integral because they know the game's set up in such a way where it's really difficult and you're not going to be able to do like one-shot levels.
Yeah.
However, on the back of that as well. Oh god. Sorry, I'm trying to hold back a really bad cough while fighting this boss. Oh Jesus. On the back of that, there are some levels where they've just added 1 or 2 little things that completely fucking break the entire game anyway. So there's 2 levels I've had so far where there has been dynamite in the level.
Okay.
Like a barrel of dynamite. You can just indefinitely pull these fucking things out. They've got a huge circle, like a huge AoE on them. They kill everything that's inside. I've literally just stood at the top of like a little hill and just started throwing dynamite non-fucking stop. Like I'm playing Call of Duty on veteran and the grenade spam's happening. And I've cleared like half of an entire fucking level because all the dudes have been lured over by the explosions to the point where the only guys that haven't came are like too far away to even tell what's happening. So that's a wee bit broken. That's a totally different experience. And the game I'm playing just now, I thought the AI was okay because it kept spotting me. I've realised now that it's not the AI is okay and that's why it kept spotting me. And it's not that I'm bad and that's it kept spotting me. It's that the game, the way that everybody's just stacked up to all look at each other is done in such a way that you cannot like avoid it. You have to look at everybody and try and figure out where everybody's looking and work your way through it. And there's just not that many like environmental traps you can use to your advantage, shit like that. You know, it really is just you versus them. But if you get a level where there is some kind of environmental hazard,
yeah,
like the level I'm playing right now, you can, for example, run up so that one guy sees you and alerts all his pals, and they all come down and they all follow your last known location, which just happens to be a train track. And you can just time it right so that the train comes by and not fucking one of them will move out the way. I've got 50 kills with this train so far. I haven't shot a single bullet. I've literally just been luring guys with Hector onto the tracks. And if they shoot me, I'll just go and drink some whiskey in a fucking bush. Because even if a guy, I'm on the hardest difficulty mode, right? If a guy sees me in a bush, I can stand up and poke my head out of that bush and go, "Hello, I am here." If I duck back down into that bush, he goes, where the fuck is he? Where'd he go? It's that bad. So, there's just so much of the game so far where it has just been like, okay, I either need to abuse the game with Hector. Hector, again, because he's so strong, he's so tanky, and he can one-shot pretty much everything. There's been points where I've just gone to like a ladder onto a rooftop, a very small rooftop that you can just jump off. And I'll just go to the top of the ladder and sit the fucking bear trap down. And then the guys will climb up the ladder, one of them will die. When the final guy, say there's like 4 guys chasing me, so one of them's already dead from the bear trap, right? The other 2 are climbing up the ladder, there's one guy at the bottom of the ladder, I'll just jump kill him. And now there's 2 guys at the top of a ladder and I'm at the bottom. So then I climb back up the ladder because these 2 guys start to jump down. And then what do? I put the bear trap at the top of the ladder. And then when one of them starts to climb up, what do? I jump kill the other guy. And then the first guy goes up to the top of the ladder, steps in the bear trap. So what I'm saying is, the enemies in this game are significantly more A than I. The only thing that has gone in their favour is that they've been set up in such a bullshit way that they are super effective just because the game is stacked so far against you. And once I realised that, it's not great. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah. So it sounds like overall, you're not having the best experience with Desperados 3.
No, not really.
No.
No, the levels are really long, and it just pisses me off that I have to keep constantly just looting back and save scumming the bit. You know, like at least on Fire Emblem, that's kind of a mechanic that they've put in the new Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
That you only get to do it 10 times in one map.
Right.
So you do still have a limit. You've only got 10 do-overs, and then after that, like, get good or lose units.
Yeah.
But whereas this one is just like indefinitely just save, reload, okay, did a little bit further, save, reload.
Mind as well, just because obviously because this is quite hectic with these two. Remember, you've got your BFG. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, I remember.
It does a butt ton of damage. Cause it's easy and does a lot of damage.
So does this fucking thing, goddamn.
Yeah.
Let's just keep you stun locked while I circle strafe you.
Yep.
Oh bitch, get away. Get your Beyblade out my face. How about a Navy blade? Oh shit. No, fucker. Back down. He did a flip. Oh fuck me. Right, what have I got? What have I got? What have I got? I've got a rocket launcher. Oh, I got Genki damage.
Oh no.
Fuck.
So on the subject of XCOM alikes, there's another one that I figured you would have been all over when it came out.
Oh yeah, I wanted to, I just didn't have the money.
All right, as long as it's on your radar, because I hear it's real good.
I reckon it will be free at some point, because XCOM was, and that shows that Firaxis have a relationship with Sony. So it is likely.
Yeah. I'm of course, for anyone who's not picked up, I'm of course talking about Halo, not Halo, Alien Fireteam Elite.
I was like, whoa, what?
Yep. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, I'm of course talking about Aliens Fireteam Elite, and it looks pretty good.
Oh wait, no, that's not. Yeah, that's not the game I thought you were talking about.
Oh, is it not? Is it not? Yeah, I thought it was out.
No, if that, I'll be getting that shit. No,
Yeah.
no, for sure. It's a like, look, man. XCOM like made by Firaxis is one thing, but Alien XCOM like, nah, I gotta buy that shit. I had it. All my kids have been named after that shit. I went and saw it. No, that's my favourite shit, man. No way.
Oh no, that's the one I was talking about, because I'd hoped that would have been on your radar. I thought it was out already.
Maybe it isn't. I missed it. I thought you were talking about Midnight Suns.
No. I've heard that's fairly lukewarm, but no. I was sure that the Aliens Fireteam was out already. I'll just check.
Please. I might have to put myself in more financial jeopardy after the stream.
Okay.
Oh god.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not fire. It's not Fireteam. That's. I'm not thinking of the right game.
Dark
2 seconds.
Descent. Try that. Or Descent, something like that.
I think it's Dark Descent. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's the XCOM like one.
So is that out?
Is that out? No, it's not out till June. 20th of June.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Bruh, what are you doing? Why June? Why is everything June? Why do I have to pay 60 quid for Street Fighter? And then probably like 70 for Final Fantasy. That was 130. That's like a fucking half right there.
Yep.
And then I gotta pay for fucking this shit now. And then I also have to listen to people talk about Diablo 4 in that month. Well, there's probably something else out as well.
There's tons of stuff out this year. Got Tekken coming. Your boy Hwarang was on the trailers the other day.
Oh my god, it's not just Hwarang, it's Hwarang! Fuck, I love this new announcer, he's so good. New challenger! Hwarang! You're like, fucking hell, that's way better than How Wrong.
How wrong.
Fuck, I cleared some phlegm out my throat doing that. But yeah, he looks tasty. I was sitting looking at the moves and I'm like, oh, there's Hunting Hawk. Oh my god, there's a Hunting Hawk cancelled into an axe kick. Oh. Oh. Yeah, his new look is great as well. As Max had said, they've gone super minimalist with him.
Yeah.
You know, because before in the last one he had the fucking weird hair and the like eye patch and the cape and shit like this. And it was just like, what the fuck are you doing? You look like a K-pop villain.
And did I wonder, and you know, you were saying this before. Like, I wonder what the reason they're going to give for him having two eyes again is.
Yeah, because canonically, he lost an eye saving Jin Kazama's life. Because, don't know if you know this, but even though the whole thing is like Jin and I know he's Korean, which is part of why I liked him so much because I was like, yo, he's ginger though, like me. How I love it. Yeah, so like canonically, even though the whole thing is like Jin and Kazuya, you know, the whole father-son thing, Jin's rival. See, Kazuya is like his fucking nemesis. You know, that's like his true foe. But Hwoarang, since his inception, has been Jin's rival. And
right.
Yeah, they are in love. Nobody really talks about it. Tekken Bloodlines, the anime, they went hardcore into the bromance. They really leaned in. But yes, canonically, Hwoarang pretty much just enters the tournaments to hang out with Jin and fight him, because that's like his favourite thing to do. Like, he has no personal motivation for being there anymore. There was a whole thing about Bake being murdered or some shit. Or maybe he just aged out, I can't really remember, but he actually has like no motivation to be there other than just to see Jin.
Yeah, he just wants another chance at fighting him.
Yeah, and it's not even in like a weird, creepy, obsessed way. It's just like, oh, yo, you're like my best bro to fight with. I mean, I hate you. No, fight, 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 kiss, kiss, kiss. You know, it's a bit like that. Oh god, that was a bad one. Okay. So yeah, I'm super happy that the trailer really leaned into that as well. Because you know, you have the whole like motorbike intro, that's awesome, you get the music, you get a little bit of styling, and then suddenly it just goes into like Jin and Hwoarang crossing legs as they try and kick each other high in the air.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, baby, that's what we want to see.
It's like, that's like the Tekken equivalent of clashing swords.
Yeah, oh, it's so good. It really is, like, that's the moment. That's the shit that I want to see, is these two interacting, because he's my favourite character. Hwoarang's, ever since Tekken 3, which was his first appearance, Hwoarang has been my absolute, he's my main, and I've never changed. And that might be autism, I don't know. But
no, I mean, like, if you have, I mean, in like particularly fighting games, if you have a main, if you have a character that you've learned, then you know,
oh no, I didn't
fair enough.
No. You misunderstand. I've not learned them.
All right.
I'm not one of these people that's fucking. Have you seen how many buttons that bitch has? He's got 4 stances. Are you standing with both feet on the ground with the right foot forward? Then these are the buttons you use. Are you doing that with the left foot forward? We'll fucking flip the controller upside down. Oh my god, now he's only got 1 foot on the ground, but it's his left foot that's on the ground, so you're gonna have to go and get an N64 controller and plug that in.
Yeah.
And then the other stance, when he's on the other leg, his right leg, and he's just doing the flamenco. I don't, like, you have to go and get a VR, like a mocap. I don't know.
Yeah.
His inputs are fucking stupid. You have to have a fucking math degree to understand how this bitch's legs moves.
Like, so is it like, so like, is it like just a whole sets of different combos per stance?
Oh yeah, he has all different moves, and he's got moves that switch from one stance to another to open up more moves. So to actually understand Warang and that's the thing as well, right? You might be listening to this and going, "Whoa, Warang sounds super technical. He sounds like one of these technical characters." He's actually more of a Rushtown character.
Mm.
Like his whole thing is pressure.
Yeah,
So
because like a lot of his like kind of big combos involve like juggling the opponent,
not
like
even
in
that.
among kicks.
Not even that. Warang is more about mixes. Warang is one of the characters that can go from high to low really quickly and really effectively. And there's a lot of different stances and moves that you can use that look like he's going to go one way and then goes a complete other way. And it's just really hard to read him. If you're playing against somebody that knows how to play him, he's so hard to read. If you're playing against me, I'm going to try and do Hunting Hawk 100 times. That is diagonal up X square X. I'm not even using the correct terminology. It's three. It's three. It's in the air. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. I don't know. You eat warangs for breakfast with a side of sausage. I find that offensive. You know what? That beard of yours, to the keen eye, does resemble a handle. I'm just saying, brother. It's going to be awfully hard to escape my embrace. No, I mean, not that. Fight, kiss.
9RKLKRK.
Thank you.
That is. Kino's got it.
I genuinely, like, there was a while where I was playing Tekken 7 and I had a whiteboard and it honestly looked like that shit in Goodwill Hunting. There was fucking equations on that shit. If anybody walked in, they would be like, "Oh, what do you study?" Like, "Oh, this is Taekwondo." study Taekwondo at a very theoretical level.
So Kino's saying think a numpad on a keyboard is an 8-way D-pad. That's how the notation works.
Yeah, I know. The problem is with the aphantisms, I have a hard time placing the buttons. Like, to remember, like, is it bottom left is 1? And then what way
it would
does
be.
go?
Yeah, numpad 1, 2, 3 are along the bottom.
Yeah, I always forget.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's hard to fucking keep an eye on the both of these guys, hey?
Yeah. They are a bit of a pain. Thankfully, they're not as durable as the first one you fought.
No, I'm getting there. I will get there. I just need something a bit better than... Oh shit. Woohoo! Oh my god! Every time I try and select a fucking gun, guys, Jesus. Oh no, he's turned into the spinny dude from Small Soldiers. What was that guy's name? I love that. Insaniac? Is that his name?
I had no idea.
Oh, we should totally watch Small Soldiers.
We should. That would be quite good. The only ones of the Commando Elite that I remember are Major Chip Hazard and Nick Nitro.
Yeah, boy, these absolute chads. Goddamn icons. Yeah, this is the one. So, yeah, I don't really have much more to say about Desperados because I've not finished it yet, but so far that's my analysis. The characters are extremely unbalanced. The fuck is that? You got a little mouth inside your mouth? That's weird.
It's a fucking Stargate worm. Kill it.
Just ripped it in half. It's pretty dead.
So go old.
The glow. Man, I remember that shit.
Love me some Stargate.
Yeah, I can't believe it's a prequel to God of War.
Aye. Who'da thunk?
Outnumbered? No problem, says the trophy. Was this the Kandakian dagger? Right, guys. Was this Force Ghost Doomslayers? What's going on here?
Lads.
And then a bunch of guys showed up, and there was a little discharge.
As you being yoinked out of yoinked out of there.
Yeah, they're like, you've got one more mission to do, but
This is it. We're doing it.
Is this the last one?
I think this is the last one.
Mega Central Processing. You want to look that up and just see?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Just in case.
Nah, you got one more hell level after.
Okay, so
half an hour. Kino, you're
yeah,
the expert.
there is indeed one more level. So we've got Vega Central Processing and then Argent Denure.
Oh, how big are they? I am big. I have my clouds.
You have the crucible, and with it the means to contain the
Sure do have the crucible. Let's speedrun this bitch.
We have a center there.
I am speed. Nyong. Open that bitch.
Process.
Touch that shit. Get my shotgun on. 2.4 terawatts, more like 2.4 tera knots. Oh, no. Terrible. Oh, where the fuck am I going? Up here. Right, come on. Speedrun's back on.
Oh, there's a suit there. There's a suit there.
Right, okay, I'm going down. There, right, grab the fucking suit. Right, okay, speedrun's back on. Okay, I am speed. I am reminiscent of a toothy hedgehog. A small blue toothy boy. What was this green shit up here? Ah, fuck me. Okay. Speedrun. So I saw some goobers this week that were very silly, and we could talk about them. Did you see the guy who fucking crashed a plane for clout?
No.
Wow, you missed this.
What happened?
So there was this absolute fucking goober, I don't remember his name. But... Aw! Boo! I got robbed my drop shot. Yeah, this absolute fucking goober was making like one of these. The idea was that he was going to fly this little plane, this little like Cessna or whatever, over a mountain to spread his friend's ashes, who just loved those mountains. That was the whole thing.
Okay.
And the videos starts him in the plane, and people were quick to point out, hey, you're piloting the plane, but you're wearing your parachute? Oh, like already? And he's just like, oh yeah, I always wear my parachute just in case. It's like, really? That seems... Parachutes are quite bulky. You're that kid that keeps his backpack on when he sits down in school. Okay, weird. So that was already a little sus. Then there was multiple camera angles set up on this, right? And then there appears to be a door that is not closed properly or something. So he's like, oh my goodness, oh, see, the door's open, that's why I always wear a parachute, just in case anything was to happen. Oh, yeah, safety first. And then the door opens again, he's like, oh my goodness, oh, dear God. And then, pretty much, immediately after that, he's just like, Jesus Christ, holy shit, we're going down. The fucking engines have stopped, doesn't try and contact anybody, doesn't try and do anything, doesn't try and fix anything, he just literally fucking, like, barrel rolls out the open door.
Just bails.
Yeah, like the door has been opened so that he can just fall out of it. So now he's fallen, he's grabbed his selfie stick, of course.
Yeah.
Now he's tumbling through the air, and of course, because the cameras are still set up on the plane, you still get to see shots of the plane. Oh fuck, that berserk's getting wasted.
I was going to say, is there not a thing on the console to activate?
Yeah, got it. So yeah, there is a good angles on the plane, and it like fucking crashing into a mountain. And the whole way down, like I said, he's got the selfie stick, and he's filming himself just like, oh wow, oh holy shit, that was, I can't believe it. Oh my god, who knew that the plane was going to crash? I'm so grateful that I was wearing my parachute. Oh wow, I have no signal up here, so I can't phone anyone for help, so we're gonna have to walk all the way. And he shows you when he lands, he's like, look guys, I cut my elbow. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad cut on my elbow. And then he's like, oh, we have to walk all the way up to the wreckage to see if we can salvage anything. I had all my food and water in there. Oh my goodness. And then the rest of it's him like walking up to the plane crash and shit like that. And people were very quick to point out that like, bruh, you definitely did that on purpose. There's no way you didn't. And I think he admitted it quite quickly. He was like, yeah, okay, that was the whole point of it, was to crash the plane. But I think in the lead up to it, there was some kind of investigation, because you know when a plane goes down, people see that shit. You know, like there's probably some airspace air control office somewhere nearby that's just had a blip go out in the map, and they're like, the fuck was that? Better send somebody out to investigate. Or you know, it was a plane fucking crash and people might have saw it. I mean, fuck, thankfully there was no one like on the mountain hiking at the time, and they were just like, oh, that plane's getting awfully close, oh my god. You know? Like, super irresponsible. But yeah, so this goober jumps out of the plane, it fucking crashes into the mountain. He didn't tell the truth about it at first.
Okay.
Which it turns out is a federal offence. So, he's been charged with, what's he been charged with? It's been something like tampering with a federal investigation. Something like that. It carries a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in prison. I've had a look into it with some law tube and stuff like that, people looking over it that way, and there's no way he's doing the 20 years. Unless people like really, like the judge really wants to make an example out of him. I think, and most people think he's probably only going to get like, I don't know, a year or two maybe, and you know most of that will be like probation, maybe a bit of community service, go clean up some trash off the mountain.
Yeah, aye, pick up some of his plane.
Yeah, but 4 million views. That's what this was for. Possible 20 years in prison, crashed plane, 4 million views. What do you think?
Wow, what an asshole.
Well, speaking of assholes, sorry, I'm just finishing rolling. Speaking of assholes, I've got another asshole for you. Oh, I need to blow my nose now. I'm the asshole. Hang on.
Well, I'll quickly jump in with saying that I'm just looking at some other news bits right now, and apparently just announced that there was a Lord of the Rings MMO coming out.
Hard pass.
Yeah, but it was made by Amazon Games.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because you know it's being made by Amazon fucking Games, and it's going to be all about Galadriel and Harpish. Don't want it. Sorry, pass.
Apparently it's not connected to Rings of Power. It's only based on The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
You don't have the fucking rights to that, Amazon. Get your hands off it.
But they're working with Embracer Group, who do.
Oh. Shit.
Embracer Group have the video game rights to Lord of the Rings right now, and it's a partnership that they've set up.
Well, fuck. Is it called Lord of the Rings or is it called Middle Earth? Both.
It'll just look as if it's called The Lord of the Rings.
Well, you play it. Did you play Lord of the Rings online?
Nah.
Nah.
The only Lord of the Rings game that I played and enjoyed was the
Two Towers on PS2, baby.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, it was.
You know it. You
Yeah,
know it, my friend. You know it. game is great.
Fucking goat. Absolute fucking goat. That game was the tits with wings.
And some news that just broke apparently 34 minutes ago.
Oh.
Apparently, Overwatch are scrapping their PvE mode.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
You don't often hear about game modes being removed. They normally just get put into a wee shelf and we'll work on something new.
Yeah, apparently the PvE hero mode is being scrapped. There will still be PvE content apparently, but not in the way that they described it previously.
Wild. I wonder what's brought that on.
I'm gonna guess something. I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be a combination of, like player drop off, and the kind of the resulting, the resulting lack of interest and revenue as a result of that. Because since Overwatch went to Overwatch 2 or Overwatch 1.5, they had a massive drop off with the players.
Yeah.
Massive drop off.
It's a shame that.
So what are they doing to people who bought it with a PvE in mind? Because that was the only thing that would have got me into it again. Well, I mean, it is free to play now. So I don't think they would really do anything. Yeah, it did go free to play at the start of the cycle for 2. But yeah, it is taking away something that some people did, were coming to that game for, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, you know what? At least the game's still playable.
Yeah.
Fucking multiverses, right?
Aye.
God damn.
Is that it offline now?
No, it's still got a little bit. Oh, there was nothing in the room. I just wasted that. Boo. So, yeah, I had another goober for you in the news I just found out about recently. It's another fun story.
Interesting. Okay.
Drink drivers.
Drink drivers. Scum of the earth.
Oh yeah, dickheads. Absolute fucking wankers. Never do it. Never do it.
Never
done
do
it. Never will.
Nope.
It's a line I refuse to cross. High driving, maybe, but drink driving, no, never. So anyway, so this motherfucker was brought in on his 9th DUI charge. 9th. And on this offence, he was brought before a judge, and he opted for a jury trial. He wanted a jury of his peers to determine his fate.
Okay.
I guess assuming that the common man would be like, it's not that bad, it's alright, we'll give him off lightly, we slap on the wrist, don't do it again, my man. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Everyone on that jury was like, fucking, how many times? Nah. No. This guy's a menace. You know what, give him life. So this guy got more of a sentence for drink driving than most predators get.
Well, how many offences had he had before though? Because, sure, in the States they have that sort of 3 strikes thing where
that's baseball, mate.
No, seriously, in their legal system they have something in place where if it's your first offence, then you're gonna get off lighter. For your second one, you kind of get what you'd expect, and the third, your third sort of felony offence is usually a lot more severe a sentence. And it's actually baked into their legal system.
I feel like the answer to the question, since it's his 9th charge, is 8.
Oh yeah.
So he's had 8 strikes. How out is he?
Yeah. That sucks to be him.
Yeah. That's like a whole inning.
Mm.
Do you know what? My take on it. Fucking good on you, jury. I don't know
Yeah.
if you have ever dealt with a serial drink driver.
I have not, no.
I have pretty intimate personal experience with that kind of thing. I think this guy had 5 or 6 DUIs,
Mhm.
and he was honestly the one person on earth that I've probably disliked more than anyone else. You have no idea.
Mhm.
But you know, motherfucker died in the toilet, so I win.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I'll tell you the story one day off stream that the guy was a monster.
So I've just seen something there about some games that are leaving the PS Plus service today.
Ah, no, boo.
So, do you know what is leaving?
I saw the list earlier, and I know that one of them's Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, which I did actually plan on playing, so I'm quite upset about that.
Yeah, that sucks. You could see if you it's still on. It's still. I think is it being removed as of today?
I don't
I
know,
think
but I can't,
it says May the 16th. So I don't know if it's like they're still on just now or if they've been taken off as of today.
I'm not sure how it works, but I think they become unplayable anyway, so I would just start it, get a trophy, and then I'd be locked out of it until it goes free again.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, not great, not great. Whenever you lose your connection to the PS Plus or whatever, any game you've downloaded off the service gets a little padlock over its plus symbol on its title.
Ah. Okay, well, there are 31 games in total leaving. Not all of them are like sort of big hitters or anything. So, going through the kind of the biggest ones, Marvel's Spider-Man's coming off. Mighty Number 9 is coming off.
Oh, boo!
Oh, boo! What a shame. Shenmue 3.
Oh, boo!
That game which was like hyped up forever, and then it came out and no one cared. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
No, I've not played that one.
Balan Wonderworld's coming off.
Oh no!
Now it's one of the ones that says here is Resident Evil. I don't know if that means the original retro one or whether it means like the RE1 make.
I think it is only the RE1 make that's available on the PS4.
Right.
So it must mean that.
And the rest of them I don't really recognise as the Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, everybody. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered is coming off.
Oh man, I love that game.
Yeah.
I never got the platinum for it though because I had online shit.
However, they're also going to be adding some games.
Yes.
So they're going to.
Very happy about.
So there's Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart.
Sick.
Which is the new one. Humanity, Watch Dogs Legion, Dishonored 2, and Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
The trilogy.
On top of that, there's Evil Within 2, Bus Simulator 21.
Yeah.
And one that you might be quite interested actually in is Thymesia. Thymesia is apparently a bit like Bloodborne.
Ooh.
And it is you play as you play as this guy who wears like a sort of bird skull mask, and he and it's all kind of like plaguey and kind of edgy. I think your main weapon's like a scythe.
Is this the Bloody Crow of Kaynar's prequel?
Well, we can headcanon that.
Awesome.
But yeah, it is. It's Thymesia. It's made by Team 17, the guys who make Worms.
Yeah.
And it reviews fairly average to well. 68% on Metacritic, 9 out of 10 on Steam. Just try to see what. So it's saying it's an action RPG, where it has combat and a plague weapon system.
Plague weapons. Cool. Not really sure what that means, but it sounds cool.
Yeah. So I will send you a trailer. I'll send you a trailer for it. There's also a new trailer for Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun out, which looks brilliant. It's basically like retro Doom, but Warhammer.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new trailer, so I'm looking forward to seeing that after the stream. That Thymesia, that's coming to the PS Plus as well. That'll be freely available. Oh, did I die? Yeah, sounds like something worth giving a shot. Very happy with some of the games that are on the service. So once I get through Desperados and finish Kingdom Hearts finally, I'm super close to Kingdom Hearts. I just can't be bothered doing it.
Yeah, you said that you'd been kind of struggling with it, but only because it's bad.
It's just boring.
Yeah.
I had to play the same song 78 times so far.
Is that just because it's the best way to grind it out?
Yep. I'm not going to set myself one of these weird personal challenges of like, oh, I want to finish every level with a perfect score. Hell no, I don't want to do that. Kinda okay, looking forward to the stream finishing so I can go and cough really. Oh Jesus.
So I think if we're still in with us still being in Vega Central Processing, I think we might get one more Doom stream then.
Ah yeah, fucked it.
Yeah. So we can round that off next week. We'll have if we have like spare time afterwards, we can always do some like snap map stuff.
Yeah.
Because there are some trophies that are connected to snap map. So we could go in and do some like custom levels.
Yeah, we'll also definitely try out the hardest difficulty.
Oh yeah. See if that would be hilarious. Let's see how far we can get on like Ultra Nightmare.
Hell yeah, speedrun it.
Like how far can we get on permadeath?
First enemy, awesome. Yeah, alright, we'll do one more, because I don't think we've really settled on what we're moving on to next, because there has been a couple of developments.
Yes.
For our Tuesday Notion, we had all of that debate, all of that discussion, and then immediately after the stream ended, a new challenger entered the arena.
Yes, it did.
Yes, and it's a very exciting new challenger.
Mm-hmm. I'm
quite excited about this one. I can't wait to actually stop having any form of social life again.
Are we telling the good people?
Oh, I think they deserve to know so that they too can potentially join in on the fun if they wish.
Okay.
since it is a multiplayer game. Arguably the multiplayer game, in my personal humble opinion.
Okay. What are we giving the good people then?
We are giving them
You can now move to where my core
Proof.
is located to complete this process.
proof that we are heroes.
Hell yeah.
Monster Hunter
So-
Rise went on sale. And I got
Monster Hunter Rise did go on sale. I still need to get a need to source it for mine own PlayStation, but
You didn't get it when it was on
Actual-
sale.
it will happen.
It was only $16.49. You didn't get it when it was on sale.
I had other things getting sorted that when that was happening, but we will get a hold of it. I'm wanting to get Rise and Sunbreak for the for the PlayStation because I want in on this hunt.
Oh yeah, I can't do it without my bestest hunting bud.
So yeah, we will be opening the floor to any hunters that do want to join in.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it on PlayStation. Switch was fine, but I don't know. There's just something about the PlayStation that I find I'm much more comfortable with.
Plus trophies.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, everybody knew. Everyone knew. It was one of those things.
Yep. So how far did you just to ask with Rise then? How far did you get with it? Did you finish the base game?
Yeah, I beat all the special dragons. I just didn't play any of the DLC that came out afterwards.
Ah, right. Okay. So all of base game, no Sunbreak.
No, base game as it came on disc with no additional content.
Ah,
base game.
right. Ah, right. I see. So you wouldn't have fought like Valstrax and things like that.
No, I did not play Valstrax.
Ah, yeah. One of my favourite monsters, to be honest.
It's one that I've not got very much experience with. At all. I've only fought it in GU, so there's gonna be a lot of stuff in this that I'm gonna be learning as we go.
Nice. Well, for anyone who doesn't know, Valstrax is essentially a dragon where they have taken the wings and removed them, and instead essentially put on a pair of jet engines.
That's wild.
One of his ultimate attacks is he blasts off into the air, does a big loop, and meteor crashes you.
He's fucking Radan.
Yeah, he does the Radan move.
Absolute Chad Savage.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's wild. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to. Here's the thing, right? Valstrax, yeah, you're right. When I play Monster Hunter games, I tend to switch my main weapon with every iteration. So like my first game I was a great sword user. And then oh god. I was a great sword user and then I went on to katanas in the next game because that was the first game they were released in.
Yes, the long sword.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, it's a great sword but it's faster. And then after that kind of fucked around with like dual blades for a little bit, went away, and then World came out, and that's when I discovered, oh my god, I'm a hammer main. This is it, this is my shit, I fucking love this hammer. I've never loved a Monster Hunter weapon so much in all my days. But then I went on to Rise on Switch, and I decided to stay true to form. So I swapped out and I tried using the bow. Never used a bow and arrow before. It was okay, but Because this is now technically a new console, so I'm going to count it as a new iteration of Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
That means I get a new weapon.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So if chat wants to decide my weapon at the time, that's one thing, but I am totally up for just going back to hammer.
Well, in that case, shall we quick fire go through the weapons, just so that people know what they're voting for?
That sounds like a perfect way to close out.
Okay. So getting Monster Hunter weapons. Okay. So there are. Is it 14 weapons in total?
Yes.
Yeah, and there are a couple more in the series, but they've always been like exclusive to like those games, like Frontier and things like that.
Yeah.
Like there's there are. So that they've had like Tonfa and Magnet Spike, but which will not appear in this list because they don't have them in Rise.
Yeah.
So we have Great Sword,
Level 3 charge with. Yum yum.
which is great big hits. It's also the weapon that I will most likely be playing.
It is for anybody that wants us. How great is the sword? It's pretty much the same size as your average Code Vein weapon.
Yeah. So it is a great sword, but it's like it is enormous. Like as big, if not bigger, than the person swinging it. Big heavy hits. In Rise, it has a little extra bonus. So, like, one of the biggest problems with Greatsword historically is that it was slow. Now, in Monster Hunter Rise, because everyone has the wire bug move, where you can zip around all over the place, it solves one of Greatsword's biggest problems, and I've really enjoyed playing it.
I'm so glad that it's actually like fun to play now.
Yeah.
Before it was one of those weapons, it was rewarding when you learned how to play it, but learning how to play it was such a curve.
For sure. And it's sort of like taking the place of like my kind of weapon for World was very, very different. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, so if we're tier listing Greatsword, where does it go?
Ooh, okay. My personal tier list, I've got a lot of nostalgia for it. I love how it works. My old man used to play it, but I don't think that it is the best weapon for me, so I'm going to put it comfortably in B.
Okay, so let's get just getting a note so I can note this down. Okay, so
it's one of the weapons that I'm thinking about it. If I saw somebody join my game and that's what they were playing, how would I feel about it? And if I saw somebody join with a greatsword, I would be a bit like, oh god, I hope you're good with that thing.
Yeah.
But if you're bad with a greatsword, it's noticeable.
Yep. So okay, so it fits comfortably in B, you would say.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly middle of the road. It's a great weapon. It's got flaws. It's got buffs. It's got it all, baby.
So next up we have Longsword.
Ooh, the Weebtana. So it's very similar to a greatsword. However, it is significantly faster. The trade-off for that is it doesn't quite have the same slap. So Monster Hunter has a lot of background mechanics, and one of those is stun. And the katana essentially has 0 stun on it, whereas the greatsword can like conk monsters out sometimes and just do like big chops that take off full like shit. Katana requires a lot more chops, but it's got an incredible moveset. It's got some of the most broken moves in the series.
It is also it's going to lose points from me slightly because it is super annoying when people are playing longsword and their positioning's off and they're staggering other players.
Yeah, so the stagger on it definitely loses its points. That is a huge thing, and it's just not getting any better. I think they kind of have to keep it there because it. Uh oh, we lost stream.